Hi, Stan.
Hello, Dennis.
Sup?
How are you today?
I'm pretty good. I'm outside. We're at Menace Headquarters.
Menace Dojo over here?
No, Menace Headquarters. Menace HQ. We're in my cabana. Right? We got some bottle service going on. Stan, you actually built this cabana.
I did. We have a plane flying overhead.
Yeah, but I helped you build it. Okay, so.
You know what? You built it, Dennis. You hired me. Yeah, you were the engineer, producer. You just had me come and help. Man, these mics are so good that they're picking up that airplane so crispy clean. Right?
Yep.
Is that the airplane?
That is an airplane, Stan.
Yeah, I still hear it.
Well, it's in the air, flying overhead.
But yeah, chilling at Menace HQ under Menace's cabana. What about this one? So I was going to release the other episode and call it episode 39.5. But I didn't.
0.5.
Yeah, I guess I still could, but so what do you want to call this, episode 40?
See?
We're going to talk to some people today?
Yeah. Yeah, I want to talk to people.
Who are we going to talk to? Who is Coach Mel?
Coach Mel is a Muay Thai world champion.
That was on...
He was the coach of... He was my coach.
On TUF.
See?
And what he was like, so he was the Team MayheM Muay Thai coach.
Yes.
Something like that.
Yeah. MayheM was working with him at the time.
That's who we got to get on the show is MayheM.
Is he in jail?
Is he in jail? He
I don't know.
Yeah. I guess I should have looked that up.
He very well could be.
Yeah. Now, was he a madman when he was your coach?
No, he was amazing.
He was like the nicest guy in the world, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
I'm going to get some eyeballs in here real quick. Let's just do like a little intro. Yo, what up? We're at Menace Headquarters, and I'm the Menace, and that's the Man. And we're going live! Menace and The Man show live at Menace HQ, dude. Swipe up and get in here. Pew! Oh.
Did you break your phone?
I don't know. It's not not looking too good.
It was a really good promo, though, so it was worth it.
Stan, what the fuck did I just do? How did I...
Wow.
Why is that?
Put that up to the camera. Show them what you just did.
I don't...
If they could see it. What do you have? Like a little... You have a little screen now on your screen?
What the fuck?
Oh, that's amazing.
No, it's not, Stan.
What'd you do?
I don't know.
It's not working. Like, it's not going away?
There's a little... Here, you show them.
You have a little screen in your screen.
I don't even fucking...
A little Dennis.
Like, right where I punched it.
A little Dennis. That's amazing. Can they see that? Right there.
Looks like a reflection of my house.
No, right there. He's got a little Dennis on the screen.
Oh, right, because it is my house. How do I get out of here?
I don't know. Anyone in the chat, if you know what's going on with iPhones, or that's something you might have to Google there.
I don't even... What the fuck? Man, that was such a good promo.
That was an amazing promo. And then you basically botched it with punching the screen.
I don't even know where I am on this fucking... I don't even know how to get out of here. All right.
You think she betrayed you?
What the fuck was that?
I was seeing if our Twitch was up.
You went on somebody else's thing?
No.
Yes, you did.
No, I did not.
All right, let's try that again. Let's try that promo one more time.
Are you going to go with the promo again?
Yeah, we need to get people in here. What's up, guys? The Menace right here. The Man right there.
What's going on, everyone?
Menace and The Man show is live at Menace Headquarters, dude. We're doing it right here in my little cabana. A little pool in the background. Stan, swipe up and freaking get in here. Are you kidding me?
You got two of them now? It must be something with the tap that you're doing, like a hard tap or something.
What the fuck?
Is that what's going on?
I don't even know.
You now have two of them.
Like, look.
You now have 3 of them.
It's not. I don't. Maybe I'm not supposed to promo.
Nah, it's letting you scroll through. No, it's not, is it? Wow.
All right, I just can't hit it now.
Well, I've tried to press it down. Now you got 3.5 of them. No, now you got one like. Nah, there's something going on here. Look, you can like move through them. It looks like it's actually creating more.
No, but where's the goddamn
Look,
video?
it's slowly creating more.
Yeah, but how do I like say go?
I don't know. I was trying to get it to
All right,
stop.
I'm just not gonna hit my screen.
Oh man, that definitely didn't go well, man.
Not what it looks like right here. Oh.
That did not go well, Menace.
Shut up, Stan. Can you do something with this? Like
Something
open
with
it?
what? The opener's in the house, actually.
All right. Well, let me do another promo. Fucking shit. All right. Coach Mel looks like he's ready to go.
All right, so your promo got cut short?
Or did it? I think I could nail it right here, dude.
Go for it.
It's gonna be quick. Just can't hit it this time. Yo, I'm the Menace. That right there is the man. And we're live at Menace HQ. Menace Headquarters. We're doing Menace and The Man live from my house. Little pool in the background. We're in the cabana. No bigs. Swipe up and get on in here. Hang on. You know what I gotta do here.
What do you got to do there?
I got a little Menace and Man. Oh shit, no, it's me.
There's your little plug when you're ready for it. But yeah, episode 40, guys. What's going on? That might actually be the start of the episode right now. Episode 40, Menace and the Man. How are you guys? Stan the Man, Dennis the Menace Bermudez. How are you today, Dennis?
I'm good.
You came home to a little surprise. We were going to do a show down in Menace Cave, and then we decided to do one out here in, what do you call out here? The Menace Gazebo?
Nah, this is just Menace. This is,
Menace Headquarters. A corner, a nook of Menace Headquarters. So that's pretty much everywhere in here is, you don't have like little names for anything. Like it's not the Menace sauna. I figure you just throw Menace on everything.
Nah.
No?
Algeria just hit me up.
Tell him to come by. Or if he wants to call in, let's talk some boxing. Who dropped? You said you mailed the promo, Menace. He just swiped up.
What? I'm not even... No, he's fucking with me.
Building up your confidence. You need friends like that.
Yeah.
Like I saw one meme recently where like some big fat kid, he shoots a ball without looking in the basketball hoop and misses completely, and then all his friends start screaming like he made it. And it was like, hang out with people that hype you up like this. So I got you, Menace. I agree with who dropped it. That was an amazing promo.
I mean, it was good. It just didn't... I don't know. I punched the screen, and I don't know. I guess Instagram doesn't like getting punched.
So now do you still have those things on there?
Nobody knows.
Nobody knows what?
If we still have those things on there.
So you see what you got going on now with your camera? I'm going to have to make an adjustment on that one.
I don't know. Well,
You're right at the point where the
Dude,
sun...
I am like... The sunshine on me.
Yeah, it looks like the sun's fucking us up a little bit. But actually, no, it's like a little glisten on you. Coach Mel?
Yeah, let's give him a ringer. Coach Melski.
So what's his name? Coach Mel? Is that how we're introducing him? Giving him his introduction as Coach Mel?
Yeah, we're just going to send it. Can you open this?
Mr. Dennis the Menace Bermudez.
Coach Mel, what's up, dude?
What's going on, man? Everything's good.
I'm just missing you, dude. You know?
Yeah?
Yep.
So, where are you at? Like, in your studio?
We have a studio and we have a mobile setup. And on this very evening, we are hanging out in my cabana out in the backyard.
Right on, just chilling, huh?
Yep.
Talking about stuff.
Yeah, it's a nice day out today. A little hot, but I like to sweat a little bit. And Stan, my co-host, Stan, say hi.
How are you, Coach Mel? Heard a lot about you.
How you doing, Dan? Well, don't believe everything you hear from Mr. Dennis there, but all good.
Well, I think you said Dan. It's Stan. Stan the Man.
Stan the Man.
Oh, Stan. Okay,
Yeah.
I got you, Stan.
Yeah.
All right.
But welcome to Menace and The Man, Coach Mel.
All right, man. I'm glad to be on the show. So, looking forward to what you guys talk about here.
We're live right now.
Oh, are you?
Fuck yeah.
Okay.
We like to talk about life and fighting, so two things that I'm sure you know a lot about.
So real quick, Coach Mel, I mean, Stan asked me about you, and I was like, he fought for the king. He was a multiple-time Muay Thai world champion. Can you elaborate on those things? Like, when did you start fighting?
Sure. It was just straight out of high school. I was back in 1992. I quickly, within a year span or so, I became a very young and talented world champion in Muay Thai, and really rose to the levels. And in no point in time, I just couldn't get any opponents in America, and ended up fighting overseas, and then ultimately became a two-time world champion in Muay Thai. Fought in Thailand several times, and in Japan many times, and Europe, and so on and so on. And was really fortunate and blessed to have competed all over the world and meet some great people. And I roughly had a career of about 10 years, from 92 to 2002.
Okay.
So around the same as Dennis. Dennis fought for 10 years, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say about that's the average lifespan, if you're lucky to compete that long, with all the injuries and, health and well, and your well-being. If you get past 6 years, 5-6 years, you did something good there. You took care of yourself.
For sure. So, after high school, where did you go? Where were you like, I want to start fighting? Where did you walk into? Was there a gym around where you lived? Where did you grow up?
No, so check this out. It was in Las Vegas, right? And so I was training with my buddy in high school. He was like a brown belt, and in karate. And so, yeah, and so we went to the Boys and Girls Club and just messed around. He asked if he could, he needed a sparring partner. I didn't know what to do. I had no training.
Right.
So I got in there, sparred with him, moved around, and then this guy just comes out of nowhere after we sparred. He says, "Hey, you want to do this for real, like train and compete?" I'm like, "No, you're talking to the wrong guy. You need to talk to my karate friend here. He's the one that's a brown belt."
Right.
But I kind of shunned it off, and then he kept calling me and pursuing me, and next thing I know, I said, "All right, man, this guy's got to stop. I got to get him to stop bothering me." So I said, "Okay, I'm gonna try it." So I trained with him for roughly about over a month or so. Next thing I know, man, I'm fighting in Las Vegas downtown in front of like 1,500 people.
Jeez.
It was a big event.
How
it was
old were you?
International event. I was 19.
Okay.
No, sorry, 19, 18. Just graduated out of high school.
Right.
And so I was 18, and a month and a half of training and competed, and I knocked the guy out. And next thing I know, I'm like, oh, okay, I can do this for a little bit.
Yeah, I like this.
Yeah, it was a pretty cool experience. I really had no formal training. And just like anything else, when you're starting out, it was up and down, but I continued with it, and it was definitely a journey.
Yeah, and then was I incorrect in that you fought for the king?
No, that's true. Back in 2000, I got invited as the first. There were two Americans, and I was one of them that competed on the King's, what they call the annual World Muay Thai championships, and which was attached to the King of Thailand. So it was promoted through this big organization, and it was in honor of the King's birthday of Thailand. There was over 100,000 people that was fighting, man. It was wild.
So,
Yeah,
so Thailand has a
100,000
king.
people watching.
Yes.
Thailand has a king, yes.
Oh, all right.
No longer, not right now. They are in. From what I hear, I think it was last year that the king had passed, and they're going through some kind of. It's a historical thing that this has happened, so they're trying to figure out what they're doing over there in their country. He was such a beloved man, but I don't know what's happening at this time with that kind of how they view things.
Yeah. So, fighting, changed your life for the better, right?
Fighting what? I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
It changed your life.
Definitely.
For the good. You met your wife through fighting.
You doing your research, man? I don't remember telling you.
You told me this.
I did, yeah.
Yes. I'm going to go somewhere after this.
Okay.
He used to, before she was his wife, he used to spar with her. She was your student, no?
That's correct. One of my student fighters, he was a fighter of mine, was training with me, and I got a call from a promoter, and they had called me and says, hey, we need a female fighter. We're looking for a female fighter, and I didn't have any female fighters at the time. I had women that were doing it for fitness.
Right.
And I asked my student, and he says, yeah, my roommate, she competes, but it was karate. It was Kenpo, so she did competitions, but it wasn't full contact kickboxing. Right. So I says, okay, well, bring her in and let's give her a try. And she came in and she started training with us, and she had potential, and, we worked with her, and, she had competed. She did really well. And after a few fights later, we just kind of, the energy kind of changed one day between her and I. And it was interesting. I remember that day. And next thing you know, we're kind of like, dating, and, we went through the course, and, there's that saying, teachers shouldn't date their students.
Right.
But at the time, it was such a unique time in our lives that it just I think was meant to happen.
Now, prior to dating her, right, you were training her, right?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Prior to training her, or to dating her, you were training her, right?
Yes.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Did she, hit you pretty hard, and then you countered and put her to sleep? Did that happen?
You remember that story, huh?
Yep. That's actually one of my favorite stories.
Yeah. Well, now, so I had told the whole team, this is true, right? And she doesn't mind telling the whole story either. So I told the whole team, hey, we got to really work hard and train hard, and today's the day, guys, and put your game face on, because my goal today is to really run you through and dominate, and if I can take you out, I'm going to take you out. Doesn't matter who you are, I'm just going to try to take you out. And that was the job. Their job was to survive and make it through. And so I had sparred about 6 of my fighters at the time. And I went through every one of them, and they did really good. Some of them I put down, and one of them, unfortunately, was Marlo at the time. And Marlo at the time was not my wife.
Right.
We were just seeing, we were dating and seeing each other and that kind of thing. So,
wait, you were dating her and you put her down? I love that.
So here's the one thing you got to understand, right? My philosophy on the training mat, right, or in the ring or in the gym is that when we're training together, everyone is equal. There's no men, there's no female, there's no gender, there's no age either. So if I told you that, hey, your grandma is right there across the ring and you got to knock her out, I'm sorry, grandma, but that's what's going to have to happen, because you made that choice to be in the ring to spar with someone, right? And so when I get in there, I don't look at them at a different status. I look at them all as students equally. And if this is a competitive thing, I says, look, You're a student athlete. You're a student fighter, and you need to go in there and do your job. So that's the philosophy and the mindset that I had back then, and it still is today. So, I have guys and girls spar all the time. We can't just look at each other, oh, because she's a female, we got to like tone it down. And, you know, because for whatever reason, it's just we're all equal on that training mat.
Yeah.
Yeah, my old coach used to say 8 to 80, you could get it. He had no, man, woman, kid, 8 to 80.
I can't. Well, the thing is, I will actually refuse to train with
Women.
women at with me going my hardest. I'll refuse it.
Right.
That's just not. I just don't want to do it.
Did you finally get to that point where you started even going with women at all?
No.
Because I remember, when I used to train with you, you'd take a round of whatever else,
Yeah.
or someone else would have to go with the girl. You wouldn't rotate to the girl.
Well, yeah. I'm not fighting a girl. I don't want to train with a girl.
Yeah.
You
I
know?
would I wouldn't. I'd have a problem hitting the girl because I was always obviously 100 pounds heavier than women, but I would grapple the shit out of them.
According to Mel, there's no weight, there's no age, there's no gender.
Well, I'm saying that's where I would go easy on them, but I would fuck them up. You know what I mean? Like, I remember one time, Sarah Menora said she's fighting Liz Carmouche about Caitlin, so I was like, all right, so I'm going to wrestle fuck her like I'm Liz Carmouche. You know what I mean? So I didn't take it easy.
Right.
I didn't take it easy on her.
No, and you shouldn't. You know what I'm saying? And I think women would respect that. If you just looked at them just as another student fighter or as another fighter, right?
Yeah.
Getting in there, that's all they want is respect. That doesn't mean kill them.
Yeah,
just because they're female or whatever. You don't belong in the ring, and so I'm gonna just destroy you so you know that you don't belong in here. I mean, you can't take that kind of attitude, but at the same time, just like anyone else there, if this was a beginner level student or an amateur or a pro fighter, you spar or you work with them according to their level, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I am not going to dominate over an amateur fighter, but
You'll
at
work.
the same time, yeah, exactly. I'll work to that level to where you'll be challenged,
Yeah, you're going to be a good training partner. It's nothing malicious, no matter the size difference, and you're
Right,
going to give them
exactly.
a solid round. Absolutely.
Exactly. So Dennis, I don't want you thinking, man, I'm going in there and just
laying all the females out.
I got control issues.
Yeah. I had a bad day today.
That's right.
Pay. So you to this day you have a gym, the Art of 8 or A8, right? Or
Yeah, correct. I don't now. I'm at a different gym, but I've had that for about 5 years. So I left my partnership with there. So
okay.
just like anything else, I still work with some fighters and some of my longtime students and everything. But I'm still in business. Yeah.
Right. What's the name of your gym?
It's now M3T.
And what does that stand for?
The M stands for my last name, and the 3
Melchor,
stands.
right?
Menor is the last name.
Ah, shit. What's your?
Come on, man.
Because Stan asked what he's like. We're gonna call him Coach Mel. I was like, yeah. And then he was like, what's his real name? I was like, Mel.
That's right. My real name is
Melchor.
Melchor, yeah. And my last name is Menor.
All right. So say that all together.
Melchor Menor.
Melchor Menor. Go for it, Dennis.
Filipino, man.
Yeah.
You can't say it?
Melchor Menor.
There you go. Bam, nailed it.
Manure. All right, so we got the M.
Yeah, and the 3 stands for what I believe is the 3 apex striking arts, right? Which is boxing, Muay Thai, and kickboxing. And the T, M3T, stands for tactics. So it's my own training methodology that I've used over the 24 years that I've been teaching students with. It's all the same stuff. It's just going on my own and just really working with my students and doing just these one-on-ones and working with fighters and students. It's just teaching them on a very smaller scale now. But I enjoy it, and it's my life.
Right. Man, that's pretty cool. Have you ever considered, do your kids fight?
No.
Because I get asked that question all the time. Like, do you want your kids to
Yeah.
wrestle? You want your kids to fight? I'm like, if they want to, I don't know.
You wouldn't even want them to wrestle?
I mean, I would want them to, but I wouldn't make them.
Yeah. Do you think you'd turn into a
Why?
wrestling dad?
No.
No?
Unless
would you be like wrestling and fighting? I mean, wrestling is in one sense a combat sport,
yes,
but you're not getting punched in the face.
right.
So, are you against your kid getting into that type of combat sport where they're getting punched in the face?
I mean, no.
Okay.
What it is they're the loneliest sports.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So and they're going to lose at some way, shape, or form at some point. They're
But it's
going to
also,
lose.
when you said weird, loneliest, it's a weird lonely. Like, there's a team aspect to it.
Yes.
Like, you have a team and you
Yes.
prepare, you grow
Yes.
super close with those guys. Like, that's how me and Dennis became friends, Mel. Like,
Right.
you build relationships. Like, even you two. Do you still talk to anyone else from TUF 14?
Who, me?
No, Coach Mel. I know you do,
okay.
yeah.
No, not like that. But when I see him at events and stuff, yes, I'll talk to him.
Yeah, and it's like you're friends forever almost. Like, when you
Right,
share the mat with
right.
someone, it's a weird bond, that fighting builds. So there is a team aspect to it. But when you lose, loneliest sport in the world.
Yeah. Well, I had trained with Coach Mel after the show,
Mm-hmm.
and we established a good and even stronger relationship.
Where was
than
this?
just being on the show in California.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
in San Diego. But no, I mean,
Yeah.
back to like my kids fighting or wrestling. It's just like, again, I would never make them do it.
Yeah.
And if they wanted to, I would support them and give them the best knowledge and support that they could get, but they would have like
At the same time, you're not pushing it on them.
Yeah, 'cause
right? You're
they
not
gotta
taking to the
want it.
gym and training them. Right.
yeah,
right.
they gotta want it. It's one of
Yeah.
those. So we're like when I would lose a football game or a soccer game, it didn't really hurt me that bad. Like, yeah, I was pissed, whatever. But like, and when we won, it wasn't like, oh yeah, like it's because of me.
Yeah.
With fighting or
Right.
wrestling, it's like, man, you can't point fingers, and
No, correct.
you can only look yourself in the mirror, man. And I mean, on the same token, like, life's going to smack you in the face at some time, shape, or form.
Mm-hmm.
Like it does it to everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
I think fighting and wrestling
Jiu-jitsu as well.
or any one-on-one sport, you learn kind of like, all right, man, I don't have anybody to help me. I got to figure this out.
Yeah, fighting definitely is truly one of the toughest sports on in our endeavors, in that we truly have to look deep within ourselves, and at the end of the day, it is about us. Right. I mean,
Yeah.
you have support through your teammates, your trainers, your friends, etc. But at the end of the day, you're the one doing it. You're the one in there training hard every day, putting in the dedication and the time. And then whether you win or lose, it's great to win. But, when you lose, man, it's just terrible. It's a sucky feeling. And no
Yeah.
one will truly get that. No one,
Yeah.
unless you competed at the highest level, you'll understand, but no one truly does, and that's what's hard about it, right?
Yeah.
You learn how to be introspective, and you have to dig deep, really dig deep on finding the positive out of it. And to be honest with you, I've seen some fighters not come out of that really well, so
Yeah.
it's kind of cool to see you come out of your own fighting career, Dennis, and come out on a positive note, doing your thing, and it's tough. It's tough to be a fighter.
Yeah, there are, like, when you lose a fight or a competition, your phone definitely doesn't ring as much as when you win.
Yeah, way less.
Like, probably, an eighth. Like, after a win, I'll have
It's also the eggshells, though.
200 texts.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
After a loss,
It's also like people don't know what to
8?
say to you, though, at the
Right,
same time,
right.
They don't want to be that guy.
right? But I
One
don't
of the
know.
things, right? One of the things that I try to tell my student fighters is this: if you're doing it, you're competing for the fame or the fortune, you're in the wrong sport. I did it when I competed. I did it because I wanted to get better, genuinely better at the sport, at the art. I wanted to truly understand the technique. I wanted to get better at it. I wanted to learn how to apply it. And what better way to really test that information and that skill set that you have through competition, right? That's why I continued to compete for the 10 years. It wasn't for the fame. It was cool that I got paid. It was cool that I got the glory and the fortune and people praising me and stuff. But I'm just very thankful that the right people were around me to give me that solid foundation, to remind me that it's not about the money, it's not about the fame. There's just too many younger kids now these days that are in it for the wrong reasons. And then when they fail, it's going to hit them hard. I honestly believe if they didn't have that foundation of who they of themselves, it's going to be a difficult journey for them when they're not doing well.
Right. I remember you had cornered me for the Ricardo Lamas fight, and
Oh, so he's cornered you before?
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Coach Mel cornered me, and he went with me to Mexico City. Yeah, I remember that. I remember you holding mitts for me, and I was in amazing shape, and we just did 30 minutes on the pad, nice and easy. We both were huffing and puffing. We were 10,000 feet above sea level.
Yeah.
But
now,
I remember that. Right? That altitude down there.
Yeah.
So you being someone who's always in really good shape, especially come fight time, high altitude really fucks you up.
Oh, yeah. But, no, I was on a 7-win fight streak, and I had lost. And, for me, man, it was I lost my shot at, getting to a title shot and stuff like that. And I don't know what you said to me, Coach. I mean, maybe you recall it, but I just remember after he said it to me, I felt better. Yeah. I don't know if he
it was along the lines of this. At the highest level, when you're competing at the top, right, against the top 3 fighters in that weight division or in whatever sport, look, man, anything can happen. What people don't understand in combat sports is that it just takes one punch or one kick. That's it. And the game changes and it's done. And unfortunately, that's part of what this is. And, it was hard on you. I remember that, you were very upset, throwing chairs across the wall and, all this and that. And you needed some time on your own. And I got it. I totally got it. And so, it's a moment where you got to reflect, right? You got to reflect and, you got to have people around you to help keep you in line.
I need to pause you real quick. So the next time I lost, the UFC had people following me because they said I cost them $5,000 in damage after that fight. I was like, no chance.
What do you mean they had people following you? You never told me this. Hey, in Mexico City?
No, in Mexico City I lost, and I kicked some fucking garbage cans, maybe punched a locker, but again, not hard. I don't know. I was fucking pissed, but I didn't
You didn't go out like Quinta.
No, I wasn't breaking things, So after my next loss, they had someone following me too close.
Just to make sure.
Too close. Right. I was like, yo, get the fuck away from me before I fucking break your neck. Why are you here? He's and then somebody else came in hey, Dennis, after your fight in Mexico City, you cost us so much money. I'm like, no chance. No, I didn't. Get this fucking guy away from me.
Well, I'm sure they were doing their own protocols, right? And just making sure that,
Menace didn't go crazy.
Seeing what had, that's all it was, Dennis. I mean, look, you're a very emotional person, right? It's that, I don't know if it's the East Coast thing or if it's your culture or whatever, but I love that about you. It's very authentic, and there's nothing wrong with that, right? But in regards to the organization, they had to kind of watch out for themselves and just make sure.
Menace is an interesting cat because he's so chill and easygoing, but he's also wired kind of tight. He could go off real quick, you know?
No, Coach Mel saw something that very few people have seen.
What?
An explosion.
Oh, so you
Oh no! Like I made him hold mitts for me in the back for like a half hour
after the fight.
Yeah,
after the Lamas fight.
Yes.
Okay.
I need
because
like
you needed to get it out.
Oh.
Yeah. You know what it is too. A UFC employee, when you were punching a locker or something, probably
I didn't
saw
punch a locker.
whatever you said. You might have punched a locker. Whatever you did, they might.
I definitely kicked a garbage very hard and far.
You scared someone who didn't fight. You know what I mean, or someone who like saw a look in your eye that went and gave that report. Like, oh no, Bermuda's snapped.
No, I have this like I will kill somebody really badly.
XJ, Jay knows your brother. Jay
Jay
Bird.
knows
Jay knows the
look.
look. Yeah, I've heard about the look.
Yeah. It's not good. It's not a good. Like the devil is in there. Like he's.
Like you're gone.
Yeah.
You're ready to go and you're gone.
Yeah.
Right.
Like if someone was like, run home, I'm like, good. I'm out of here. Hang on.
I got a lot of energy to burn.
So coach, I my senior year I lost in the section finals to go to states, right? And I was number 1 seed. I was supposed to win, and I lost. As soon as I lost, I ran out of the back doors and I ran out of the back of the building. The only thing stopping me and my father chased me. And my signal was down. It's snowing. It was January.
Okay.
And I was going to run home. I was 45 miles away from my town. I was going to run home, and my father came outside. He was like, Dennis! And I was like, Dennis, just keep walking. Fuck this guy. And then he was like, Dennis! And like, he's pissed. And I'm like, fuck, he might kick my ass. I should turn around. You know, I turned around and like, he like gave me a hug and shit like that. And like, he's not a competitor. So he told me something to try and make me feel better. And it was like, hey man, there's always going to be someone out there better than you.
Mm-hmm.
And like it made me feel better, but as I got more competitive and further, it was like, fuck that, no chance. That's not the mindset.
I'm the best in the world.
Yeah. It's got to be, or I'm going to be. You know.
No, hey Dennis, you know I totally get that. You know, you as competitors, right? The best of the best. We can't think about losing,
right?
And there's no thing in us. There's just no way. I remember my first loss. It was against a Thai guy, and it was my first loss ever. And I was so upset because one of my heroes was there to watch the fight, and I was doing good. I lost a split decision, and I thought I had won successfully. And then when they announced the decision, they gave it to the Thai guy. And I was so upset. I locked myself in the hotel room. Just, man, I thought I was going to be this, you know, this great record, this champion, and now I got this loss against this, you know, this Thai guy who really has a no name, and and it's just, it really, I was really put in this emotional, you know, position where I was just so down on myself.
Yeah.
You know, luckily for one of my stablemates, who's a fighter also, he stayed with me in the hotel, and you know, he helped me kind of get through it all, right? But no, I totally get it, man, because there's no lose in us. We can't think about it, and if we lose, it's like, what the hell? All this work. No,
for what?
Right?
It's crazy. When you lose, you don't want anybody around you, but you need at least one person around you
to calm you down.
No, not even to calm you. Like to almost sit in the corner and just be quiet, not say anything.
Mm-hmm.
To sit in the corner like his fucking father just died.
Yeah.
And like here and there, like, hey man, it's our, you know what I mean? Yo, you tried, you know, like.
Tomorrow's another day.
But that person has to be someone you look up to.
Yeah.
Or respect. It can't just be like
family member or
a
something.
Joe Schmo.
Yeah.
Because you'll try and strangle him.
Yeah, because they don't get it. They don't get it.
It has to be someone that has some concept of what you just did. You know?
Right.
It can't be, Joe Schmo, you know?
So, Coach, you fought for 10 years. I remember you said you were fighting when you were like 18, 19. You retired young?
You know, after one of my fights at the Bellagio in Las Vegas, I had won. and it was a really tough fight, and it was a great fight. I decided with, my wife is, look, I told my wife I need to take a break. I need some time off. This was a tough fight. And so we decided to go to South Africa on vacation for about 2 weeks. And so we flew out to South Africa, and we did the whole adventure bush thing where we just go to campsite and just, no electronics. I mean, we were in campsites, and there was that cooked food for us every lunch and dinner and breakfast. And then we went out to the bush and just looked for animals, and day in and day out. And it was a great, great trip. And, it was one of those circle of life things. We saw animals get killed, lions going after gazelles. And, we saw the whole nine. And so it was like, when you're out there and you don't have electronics and this is all you're seeing, it's like we talked about, a family. And, when we get back, it was like one of those decisions that we made. So, hey, let's start a family, because once I get going again and, competing is going to be like nonstop, go, go, go. And so next thing I know, 9 months later, we had a baby, and next thing you know, 3 years later, I have another baby, and then I didn't even know what happened. It was kind of those things where I just kind of unofficially, unofficially retired. I didn't fight anymore, just because I wanted to focus on the kids and the family and everything. But fast forward a few years later, it was like I had 2 kids, and I was just training people.
Yeah. So, but that's good. You went out on a win.
My last fight was a win, yes.
Yeah, so that's the best way to go out, same way as Dennis. So you're probably a little bit more fulfilled when you go out on a win.
Yeah, you know what? Hold on. I got to rewind that real quick. Let me see. 2002. You know what? Actually, guys, my last one was not a win. Oh my gosh. It was a loss. And I guess that's why I was like, I got to do this. I got to get back in there. But, I think it was for a reason, and that I did want to get back in there, but this was after this trip, and, it's just
life gets in the way.
Yeah, basically. And it was a good move. It was a good move for us as a family.
Well, I think what happens with fighters and like competitors is they're like, yeah, you know what? I've had enough. It stresses me out. It's a lot. It hurts me. And then you start helping other people get ready for fights, and you're besting them, and you're like, I'm not even trying right now. I'm fucking people up. Like,
I could still do this.
I'm still a badass dude, And then you're like, fuck it. Let me go. Might as well go get paid if I'm already training, Would you say? Am I off? Do you think?
Well, I think after one's career as a professional fighter, it's a natural direction to go to. However, not everyone's calling is to become a teacher or a trainer. And, you have to kind of really look at that and see if you're equipped to have the right tools to really teach and train people. On a professional level, right?
Right.
But is the natural direction to go to, because you know the sport, you know what it takes, and you know what the training is like. So I would have to say, yeah, why not? If you have the abilities to be a really good trainer.
So I'm gonna jump ship right now. All right, you are a TV star.
Yeah, I'm no TV star,
yes,
man.
you are.
I was going to ask about that when I looked him up. I saw that he was in the Here Comes the Boom or something. Did the fight coordination?
Here Comes the Boom. He was on TUF 14, and he was on Superheroes or Superhumans.
It's funny is like the stuff that you see on the World Wide Web, right? I'm on. If you look up IMDb, which is like this whole that showcases every acting and anything in that industry, and I just found it really funny to have seen myself on there in passing several years ago. And some of my students often tell me, Coach, I just saw you on IMDb again, and da-da-da-da-da. I'm just like, I think it's funny. I think it's hilarious. I'm not an actor. I'm not a TV star. I'm not a movie star. I really am not. I'm really fortunate to have met the people in my lives that helped me get to that point where I was...
fighting did that for you.
Yeah.
Say again?
Fighting did that for you.
Without a doubt. The accolades I had in my, with what I did professionally definitely got me that, yes.
All right, so that's what's up. So you're a television star.
So real quick, inform. So how did you get on? What's the show? It's
Fight Science or
no,
Superhumans?
No, who's the Superhumans?
Stan Lee.
Stan Lee is
Yeah.
Superhumans.
Yeah, the first show I was ever on was National Geographic's Fight Science. They did a 2-hour documentary. It was new to its own kind at the time, and they wanted to compare a lot of the different martial arts combat styles out there, and to try to break down what was real and what wasn't. So that was the first one that I've ever been on, and through that, I was invited through other TV shows. Fox Sports brought me in on their what's called Sports Science series, and that's where they infamously got me famous for breaking baseball bats, because that's what they wanted to find out, was to see what it took to break a baseball bat. And they compared me with a football punter, a soccer player, and here I am coming in as a Muay Thai fighter, and I broke this baseball bat, and they were just blown away by it, right? And
Like, if I brought you in tomorrow, you could still do it?
yeah.
I don't get it. Hang on. Oh, I tell this story all the time. So we're warming up for the fight in, I was just doing training camp with you. I was getting ready for the fight against Lamas in Mexico City, and you had me hitting 1, 2, 3 leg kick. Stan, he has no padding on. I have no shin pads on.
And he's telling you to kick.
So 1, 2, 3 leg kick. So I just tap him light. He's like, harder. I'm like, okay. 1, 2, 3, harder. He goes, harder. I'm like, okay. Like 1, 2, 3. I put it in there like 80%. He's like, Dennis, come on, harder. I was like, okay, motherfucker. So I'm going 1, 2, 3 as I'm blasting him as hard as I could in the thigh.
And he's
I don't
eating
know. Nothing. Stan, not even not a wince. His leg wasn't moving. It wasn't changing color. And then I actually was like, okay, can we do a different combo? Because my shin is starting to hurt from kicking you in the leg.
Yeah, you'd have to see a visual of it, and there's some videos on YouTube out there that talk about this, right? That show me kicking people and vice versa. It's hilarious. It's just, I've been through so much of that over the years of my career that to me it's not a thing anymore.
But Coach Mel, I feel like I've got a pretty strong. Can you give me something? Do I have a strong kick?
Dennis, you do. Don't get me wrong. You do have a powerful.
You're just
kick.
punking me, huh?
He's just numb to it at this point, probably.
You got to understand. I have heavyweights, that are.
I've watched it.
That kick me full on, and I'm flinching either. So, it's one of those things, man. I mean, to credit, the way that I quantify a fighter in terms of their kicks, like, are they a dangerous kicker? I could tell, like, by their weight, is it appropriate? Is that power of your kick appropriate to your weight?
Right.
And be honest with me, when you threw that kick, I was like, okay, that's really sharp and that's really good. I wouldn't say it's dangerous, but it's powerful.
Well, I've never stopped anybody with it, but.
Right. I met some dangerous.
I've slowed them
kickers.
down.
Yes, you can hurt people with your kicks, definitely, Dennis. And I've seen that. You've had a couple fights where you were leg kicking the crap out of people, and it was definitely affecting them.
Very effective leg kicks, Dennis.
But my ego was totally wrecked.
From Coach Mel.
Yeah. No, Dennis, no, harder. I'm like, I am kicking you my hardest. Okay, can we do a different combo because it's starting to hurt my leg? No, so hang on, because I remember you on the show. I watched a little highlight. You like when you're about to kick a baseball bat in half, you take yourself somewhere else.
Yeah, it's well. There's a couple parts to it, right? I mean, one, the physical part, the biological. And, I did my research, and try to figure out how to explain why is it that I don't feel the kind of pain that I do like normal other people would when they, break a baseball bat. And so there's a biological aspect of it, and then there's the mental aspect of it as well. So, basically what it comes down to is mentally preparing yourself that, okay, this is what's going to happen. And, letting yourself know it's only for a moment, and that's it. Right? Because we have what's called pain receptors. And so for me, because of through the years of kicking for 10 years, et cetera, I no longer have pain receptors. They're impaired. So it doesn't signal to my that it hurts. It freaking hurts. But I feel the impact, right? I feel the impact. Now, when I feel the impact, it goes to my brain and says, okay, that was a hard kick. You just broke something. But I have to also tell my brain it's okay, because it's not going to be forever. It's just going to be for a couple seconds and I'm good. And that's what it comes down to, is just knowing in your head that pain is going to go away.
Oh, so you almost like trick your brain into like almost not even registering it.
Yeah, correct. I mean, like I said, there's a biological aspect of it, right? Where we have embedded within our body, right? These pain receptors. I mean, there's millions of them within our body. There's the surface, there's in our muscles and in our joints. So what happens is when it feels that pressure, it tells your brain, says, ouch, mother effer, that really hurts. So it tells our brain, and that's the fight or flight. It's like, we don't want none of that. We're wired not to be put in that kind of place. And so we don't do it, right? And the thing is with combat sports or Muay Thai training is that when you're kicking with your shins or you're punching with your hands, etc., you, in one sense, callous those areas. You impair the pain receptors. They no longer work properly. And so it doesn't signal to your brain that it hurts anymore.
Now, I don't know where I went wrong, because I get signals all the time, like, ow, that hurt really bad. I actually have, like, a lump in my shin. I don't know if you can see that. Like,
what is it from?
My very first pro fight. There's, like, this lump right here.
From you kicking someone.
Yeah, the guy was on the ground, and I kicked him in the leg and it made a really loud smack. And the crowd went nuts. And my corner was like, yeah, more of that. And I was like, okay. So I throw another leg kick. He checks it from his back. And my trainer was like, again. So, like an animal, I throw it again. Check. And ever since, I've had this, like, calcium deposit on my shin. And after all my fights, it gets even bigger, and
yeah, that's normal.
Yeah, but the thing is, so after the fight, though, I won't kick anything for 2 weeks. To get it how yours are, you kick something the next day, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, that sounds crazy.
Well, no, so I've heard about Muay Thai guys, like, putting, like, a little bit of cement in their bags. Like their Muay Thai bags or punching bags, and you just tap it every day.
Yeah, to toughen your shit up.
Is that a fallacy, or?
I don't know where you're getting that, man. I don't know where you heard that. That's funny. Look, the bottom line is I've had this conversation with many student fighters with how do they condition their body and how do they condition their shins to be that strong.
Tell me you did it just by doing it.
What's that?
Tell me you've done it just by doing it.
Just training, man.
Just
like while your shin's fucked up, you're just sending it full bore again the next day at whatever.
Well, I mean, it's not like I want to go kick another board the next day or nothing, but I got to train, right? I mean, I'm in the gym the next day and I'm kicking the heavy bag.
Yikes. I guess I'm like a fucking prima donna.
No, Dennis, look, you're the norm. Every fighter is like this. What the difference between me and, typical of a lot of Muay Thai fighters really is that, for years, that's all we do. We,
Right.
5 hours a day we're kicking.
Yeah.
Right. That's the difference. You guys, as MMA fighters, you don't put the amount of trauma to your shins.
Right.
We do. You have to do wrestling. You got to do jiu-jitsu.
Right.
You got to the boxing and all of that stuff. As Muay Thai fighters, it was a daily routine.
Yeah.
Morning and evening. That was it was the norm, to spar and to kick the bag and to hit the pads. And you always got bruised up, and and then the next day, same thing, even though you were bruised up.
Right.
And from that, over the years, we just have a lot more of a tolerance in terms of, the kind of pain that comes in when we kick something with our shins. You guys, a lot of, MMA guys, they smash one. It's like, ooh, take another round off in sparring. I'll kick you in the next round. Let me take this round off from kicking. I get it, and it's just the nature of how training goes, depending on how you train.
Yeah. Leg kicks are brutal.
Now, on the same token, like, let's say I was training next to Coach Mel every day, and he's doing the exact same thing. I'm like, I'm not gonna be a pussy. You're gonna keep kicking shit. I know your shit hurts too. Oh, I'll just kick things too. That, you know what I mean? Like, if we were the same start, I wouldn't be like, oh, my shin hurts too much, and then watch you kick things. I'd be like, yeah, you wanna fucking kick things? Me too. And that's how it is in Thailand, right? Like, I mean, it's probably that mentality.
Well, it's really how it should be, period, right? As a competitor, you wanna strive to be better than the person next to you, right? In terms of training. So that's the attitude that we should all have.
Yeah.
Dennis just kicked someone this weekend.
Yes, I did.
Sent a hard leg kick.
Yep.
And he ate it. He might have had that brain. Did he complain afterward, or he ate that? Maybe he has that Coach Mel brain mentality.
No, he went, oh, that wasn't that bad. And like an hour later, he was like, it's starting to hurt. The next morning, he's like, my leg is throbbing. I don't know why. So with my wrestling buddies, we went camping this past weekend. And last time I hung out with him at a wedding, we drank too much. And I'm like, yo, you should let me leg kick you. And all the other guys like, yeah, golf, let him do it. He's like, fine. So I leg kicked him. And then he was really drunk. So I leg kicked him like 2 more times that night. And he woke up the next morning like, all of us were sleeping in this room. We all got awakened by like, ow! What the fuck? Did someone hit me in the leg with a bat last night?
Oh, so more than one leg kick.
No, hang on. This goes back to a wedding like, I don't know, 6 years ago.
Oh, so the other night you only kicked him once.
Yeah, so the other night it's kind of like a thing now. Whenever I see Guff, you get a leg kick.
Yeah.
Especially if the boys are around and like, come on, Guff.
I saw your flip-flop almost went right in the fire.
Yeah, I thought it was gone. I leg kicked him, Coach, with flip-flops on. So on impact, my flip-flop went flying and almost went into the fire.
That's funny.
Yeah. So how did you get on The Ultimate Fighter as a coach?
Let me see here. Who was I?
You were working with MayheM Miller.
Yeah, I was training MayheM Miller prior to that. That show, and so his manager, basically asked me if I was interested in, being part of the staff of trainers to be on the show. And at the time, I had the ability to, with my schedule and stuff, to be a part of it, and so I did.
Yeah. What was that like for you? I know, like, we were locked up in a house for 6 weeks, and we had no access to cell phones, computers, televisions. We had no idea what was going on. What was it like for you?
And that makes total sense why you guys become, like animals in that house, man, because you got nothing to watch. You got no electronics. That would just do a toll on you.
Well,
I totally
Well, for me, a lot of people ask what it was like for the house, being in the house. Like, did it suck? I'm like, no, man. I had nothing to worry about other than fight. I didn't have to worry about, like, posting on social media. I didn't have to worry about my car bills. I didn't worry about rents. I was just there for a fight. I didn't have to worry about putting gas in my car. Like,
you hadn't had your boys yet.
Right.
You were on a mission.
I wasn't a father.
Yeah,
it was just like, just fucking kill.
You went there single.
Yeah.
You never a girlfriend.
No, I had a girlfriend.
Oh, you had a girlfriend.
Yeah.
But she understood the drive.
But, like, food was, I didn't have to buy food. Like, I didn't have to make money. It was just like, it was almost like being in high school again, live with your parents, but, like, all you're doing is just getting ready for a sport and just training.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's an actual nice setup, right? That's a dream thing there.
And
that you guys were.
You could order whatever you wanted, right? Like food-wise.
Yeah,
whatnot.
so how it worked was they had like a piece of paper and you wrote whatever you wanted on it, and it would show up within 24 hours.
So if you're a struggling fighter, you're eating better in the Ultimate Fighter house than you're eating outside of it, probably.
Yeah. So, I mean, I didn't think outside the box. So Jessica Penne, I talked to her later on. She was the next season after me. She said that those girls ran up the highest grocery bill behind the heavyweights. Those girls were ordering like filet mignons and lobsters and stuff like that. I didn't think like that. I was just like, all right, let me get some like things that I normally get.
Yeah.
Those girls were like, oh, your $1? Okay, we like, let's get some Moet in here. Like, no. Yeah, I was like grilled chicken, fucking sushi from the grocery store.
Sweet potatoes.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, that's what tells you right there. Women are more advanced than us. They get it. They know what's.
What? What? Whose $1? Okay.
This is like a club.
As trainers, we actually lived in the condos that was a few miles away,
right?
And so they condos, and so we had to take care of ourselves, but we had a place to stay. And our job was to, once the training was coordinated, was to meet with you guys, and from there get the training regimen started accordingly, right? And so it was a really cool experience to have met all the different fighters, and just everything as a whole. Everyone was very kind and just giving to what we needed, and the fighters were great because everyone did their part and they trained hard, and it was a cool thing. It was a really cool experience.
Yeah. So our boy, we called him Kush, but Kamaru Usman is now the world champion.
UFC,
you held probably like some of the first mitts he ever hit.
Yeah.
What's that like for you? I mean, that's pretty crazy, right?
Interestingly, right? He was, I think, a college level athlete at the time when
he was actually on the Olympic ladder a little bit. He was at the OTC, I think, at the time.
Okay. Interestingly, on a side note, Daniel Cormier, before he got started, I actually held pads for him.
Is that right?
Yeah, I started doing MMA. And, Dan Henderson and Rulon Gardner,
okay.
All those. I mean, I go far back as to, like, training Ken Shamrock when he was at the
Really?
Lions. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So, with Kamaru, it was really cool because he was so new to the striking aspect of it. And I just remember him being such a student of the game. He wanted to learn it, and, really good attitude. And, it was a pleasure working with him, for the few times that I did on the show.
Well, now you being a Thai coach, you see how easily adaptable these high-level wrestlers are. Like, they know how to learn something and then make their body do it, or implement it. They know also about drilling, so they'll drill the shit out of it till they're good at it. But wow, so you touch mitts with this guy, you might wind up a UFC champion.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I never, as trainers, right? We, when someone is working mitts with us, we see the potential, but we can't really say, okay, this guy's going to be a world champion.
Right.
I mean, we have a feeling like, okay, man, if this guy continues to do what he does, He's going to be up there. He's going to be a champion one day. But we're not going to, guarantee anything because there's just so much stuff that happens along their journey, right? You never know. But one of the things that, stood out with Kamaru, Usman now, becoming the champion was just his dedication and discipline, much like you too, Dennis.
Yeah, he's very good with that.
Yeah, he wanted to be the best, and in order to get the best, he wanted to train, and that was it. That was your number one focus. We have to be selfish that way. Every person who's gone to the highest level, no matter what sport, right? They had to be selfish. They had to dedicate the kind of time and the training and stuff, and that's you guys, and that's us. We put that time in there, and that stood out along with his ability to just take it all in, right? I mean, should all these student fighters be the same way, have that same mindset? Of course, they all do. But, there's a little part that goes, oh, man, there's potential here. But we never truly know.
Yeah, so the last thing, so I'm watching your page, right? You had this guy from Australia over doing a seminar at your school in Muay Thai. I'm like, what the fuck? Who the fuck is this guy? So I look into it a little bit. All right, whatever. I'm in LA for a UFC conference, whatever, and John Wayne Parr comes up to me. He's like, "Hey, Dennis Bermudez, what's up, man? Hey, what's going on, man?" I'm like, "I fucking know you, dude. Weren't you at Coach Mel's school, moving around?" He's like, "Oh yeah, Mel's a great guy." I was like, "What? Hang on, what's going?" And he started following me on social media. I'm like, "All right, this is pretty cool." So I follow him back, and I'm like, whoa, this guy is a fucking big deal.
Yeah.
Yes.
Why is he such a big deal? From a Muay Thai, I know why he's a big deal, but from a Muay Thai world champion's point of view, why is John Wayne Parr a big deal? He said he's gonna come on the show too, so we're gonna get him on the show in time.
Eventually.
Yeah. John Wayne is what we call one of the living legends in our sport. And, very few people can I say that they are legends. And the reason what makes him a legend is what his history, what he's done in terms of his career. Man, this guy's had 100 fights, not in just Muay Thai. This is just Muay Thai. He's done some boxing matches.
He's boxing again, no?
Yeah, he's about to fight Anthony Mundine or whatever the guy's name is.
Fight in boxing, right? He's even dabbled in MMA. I don't know if you knew that.
I know he was doing Muay Thai fights with MMA gloves on.
Yes, that's his own promotion that he does back at Gold Coast, where he's from, and it's really taken off, and it's really successful. And I'm really happy for him that that they're doing this, or he's doing this as a side business thing for him. But John Wayne is one of those guys, the few foreigners at the time back in the 90s, where foreigners, white guys, were not allowed to even train at the Muay Thai gyms. And for whatever reason, they accepted him. And he literally lived there since he was young and trained, and that's all he did. And he accepted the culture, and he accepted the way of life there, and that's all he did was fight. And along the ways after his young career, he got to compete with the best of the best. There's no doubt, no one will argue who he has not fought. I mean, he has fought the best of the best, and his accolades just speak for itself. That's just about it.
I actually started I remember going into my last fight, and I'm like, man, I'm gonna take a page out of this guy's book.
John Wayne Parr's book?
Yeah, fuck it. He will just kind of. I mean, I don't want to take anything away from the man, but from my eyes, it's just he just kind of comes forward and just starts throwing long, straight punches at you, and just doesn't stop. I mean, a great defense is a good offense.
Yeah.
So if you're getting hit constantly, how can you, what can you do? And I took that from him, and I remember going my last fight, man, I'm not gonna just throw a jab, fade back, 1-2. I'm gonna throw a 6-piece at this dude as fast as I can. A lot of coaches show really turn and twist. That that's that leads to a bigger gap of time from that guy getting hit again. When you really turn and twist, yes, they're more powerful. John Wayne Parr will hit you like 60 times in 30 seconds. You know, like he's just rapid firing on you. You know, and then as you're covering up, then he'll load up that fucking super shot where you fall down. I'm like, damn.
Yeah, he's a beast. Remember, even we had Robert Whitaker on, and I was like, I think you might be the biggest fighter. Then we said Mark Hunt, and Robert Whitaker was like, nope, John Wayne Parr. John Wayne Parr is like the most famous fighter from Australia.
Yeah.
And even if it's not like social media following, people just know him. You know, like he's like a legend in Australia.
Yeah, Muay Thai typically is a slow-paced fight, just because of the style itself. And what made John Wayne Parr, and I call him Wayne, what made Wayne stand out and become successful because he had an aggressive style.
He just sprinted at you.
Yes. When it came time, he was in your face. Pop, 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 and he would never stop. He was just relentless.
Right.
And the Muay Thai is just all about timing and defense and countering. He didn't play that.
Yeah.
From the very round, he just come at you.
Well, the thing is because Muay Thai has that style, like you just said, about timing and countering, guys weren't ready for him. They couldn't endure his pace. Am I mistaken right there? Right? They would last a little bit, and then they would, their cardio would fail, and then their head would go.
Yeah, totally true.
So now, have you trained with John Wayne Parr in the past?
Yeah, we trained. I first met him back in Vegas. My wife is a good friend of his wife, Angie, and they often communicate, and even though they're in Australia, and I first met Wayne in Las Vegas. We were both training for an event, a show. He was the co-main event. We were both the co-main event. I remember that.
So you guys fought each other?
No. Sorry, we both fought on the same card.
Oh, okay.
We both fought on the same card, and we trained together. I was living in San Diego. He moved to Las Vegas at the time, and so we trained. We had fought, and then after that fight, we got really close, and after that, we just kept in touch. And if he was in town in San Diego, I actually helped him get a job down here in San Diego. Where he worked at the gyms, and he became a trainer, and everyone sought him out. It was really cool. We trained together. He helped train me for my fight with Danny Steele, and for the K1, and vice versa. When he was training for his fights in Paris, and in other fights in Arizona and some other things for WCK, I helped him train for it. So we trained together for a few years.
So last thing, let's go through the list, and it doesn't have to just be MMA, of like notable fighters that you have trained or worked with. Go.
Let's start with Dean Lister, Ken Shamrock, I'm punch drunk right now.
Well, Cormier, Usman, Dennis Bermudez.
Yeah. Dennis Bermudez, Meisha Tate, Rashad Evans, Rulon Gardner. I'm sure there's many more.
Now that's an interesting one there. Were you training Rulon when he was fighting in Pride?
Yes.
Oh, that's awesome.
At the same time, I was training Dan Henderson as well. Both of them at the same time. And he's probably the biggest guy that I've ever trained. He was 330-something pounds at the time.
Oh, so you started training him when he was first getting into it and he was out of shape.
Yeah. Well, amazingly, he wasn't really out of shape. He had an incredible stamina, endurance. He had to cut weight for a little bit, but even at that weight, he was just
a freak.
He was a freak. And he explained to me, I don't get it. Big guys like him, when I held mitts for him and pads for him and worked with him, says, how is it that you can push yourself? He goes, well, he said that the doctors did a study on him, and they tested him. His lungs actually are the twice. He explained to me that his lungs were twice the size of a normal human being, which explained his capacity for oxygen. And he could pump out the oxygen faster than we normal pee-wee human beings could. And so that's why he was able to just really, really have this high level of endurance.
Yeah, he was able to outwork people.
Yeah, exactly. Especially for that weight division.
Oh, yeah, I was a big fan of Rulon Gardner back in the day. Just seeing an Olympic gold medalist come into Pride, and he was fighting guys with a lot more experience than him, like his first fight, second fight.
Yeah, yeah. And I didn't know his whole story. Apparently he was on ESPN's, like, top, greatest athlete in the world, which was a really cool story, beating the Russian champion who's been unbeatable for so many years.
Yeah, he's the guy who beat Karolin when Alexander Karolin was on his crazy streak, and nobody could beat him.
Yeah, that's cool. That's pretty cool. Yeah. And Dan Henderson, too, he was training for his Pride fights. It was cool to really work with all these high level athletes and fighters. I was really fortunate to have worked with them. I guess, at the end of the day, when it comes down to game respects game, and be it the managers or the fighter themselves kind of picked up on that. They knew who was legit and they wanted to work with. So that was really cool.
You're cool.
No, man, but you're the menace. You're cool.
Nah.
All right, Coach Mel, we feel like we've had you on for like an hour here, so we'll let you go. We want to thank you for joining us, and we'll get you back on the show because I'm sure you got a lot more fighting stories to talk, a lot more life lessons to give our following, and yeah, you're the man.
Where can people find your gym? Where is there a website? Is there a social media page? Where can people come train with Coach Mel?
Well, yeah, I do have a website. It's called m3ttraining.com, or they can just look me up on Instagram, which is just my name, Melchor_Menor, Menor. That's it.
I like it.
Okay, Melchor Menor, Coach Mel. Thank you again for joining us here on Menace and the Man. And,
I miss you, Coach. Next time I'm in Cali, we'll get together.
Yeah, definitely, bro.
Or if you ever come to New York, I already talked to my guys at the gym. We would love to have you come here and do a seminar. We'll pay you.
Yeah, I do. It's been a while since I've been to New York, so I got to come out there, and definitely we'll hook up when I do get out there.
And if you want to save money, because I know you're an Asian, you're a little cheap, you could stay at my house.
I appreciate that, man. I got family, man.
Bring them. Bring them.
Yeah, okay.
I've got bunk beds. I've got a guest bedroom. I got a sauna if you want to get weird. I got a little Menace we can work out. Whatever you want to do, dude. A little pool. And we're in the cabana right now. We'll send you the link. You can look at where we're hanging out, and we'll get it going.
Okay, brother. I look forward to that, man. And thanks for having me on the show. I really appreciate it.
You're the man.
We appreciate the stories, Coach Mel. Thank you very much.
Very welcome. We'll talk to you again soon.
All right, man. Peace.
Okay. See ya.
We gonna get...
So you want to go Jeff Smith? Or you want to go Den Thomas? They're both kind of waiting.
Jeff Smith or Bryan Caraway? Let's just get Bryan Caraway for, real quick.
Right, let's do Bryan Caraway. And then Den Thomas or Jeff Smith?
I mean, I would like to go...
I would like to go both, actually, if we could.
We can.
Let's just do 15. Let's build someone for next week or something.
I just want to hear it. Bryan just fought and got... I mean, if he doesn't answer...
Hello?
Bryan!
What's up, man?
What's up, big dog?
Not much. Just road tripping in my RV.
Yeah?
Back up to Washington State.
We just got off the horn with Coach Mel.
Awesome. How's he doing?
He's doing well. We talked to him for an hour.
I know. I was wondering.
Sorry
it's been a minute.
Yeah.
All good. He's an interesting guy, so he's got a lot of cool stuff to talk about.
Amazing. You have to look back on it. But real quick, I need to jump right to it. You just fought this past weekend, no?
Yep. I just fought in Macau, China for Battlefield.
For Battlefield. Hang on, because I was talking to my co-host. I'm like, dude, I'm pretty sure he got gypped out of some loot. Yeah,
exactly, man. It was wild. There's nobody got paid right after that. I guess, there's rumor has that they're supposed to be paying us this week, and I talked to a Korean guy. It's a Korean promotion, even though it was in China. And the Korean guy said he got paid today, but obviously he's Korean, so maybe he'd be the first one to get paid. So who knows? I haven't got paid yet still, so we'll see what goes on. They told all the fighters, weirdest thing ever, they told all the fighters after the show, hey, there's some weird stuff going on with the Chinese police. They're trying to, like, you know, take a bunch of the money or whatever, and, you know, we have to be careful about it because, you know, the Chinese police are, like, corrupt or whatever. So they said, and the show got over at, like, 10. And they said, all the fighters, you know, go in your room, be in your room at 2 a.m. I'm going to come with all the money because I guess all the fighters wanted to get paid in cash. And they said, you know, go wait in your room and I'll bring you money to your room and pay you out in your room privately, each fighter. So I'm going to start paying people out of too. So we're like, okay, whatever. This is kind of weird, but I guess it makes sense if, you know, China's like a communist country and whatever. So we all go to our room at 2 and we're waiting. And we start texting around 3, you know, just no reply. So all the fighters start texting each other. And everybody says, hey, no one's got paid. No one could hear them. The guy just kind of, the promotion, all the CEOs, they're just ghosting us. Nobody's answering. Nobody's talking at all. And next thing you know, the whole night goes by. So we all meet up in the morning at the buffet and nobody got paid. Nobody's answering their phones, you know, to the CEOs. And yeah, it was just kind of crazy. And then later that night, everybody flies out and we're freaking out. And we get a day later, we get a message from the matchmaker saying, you know, I wasn't aware this was going to happen. They told me they had all the money, you know, in escrow, which they told my manager as well that they had all the money in like an escrow trust fund to pay the fighters, and it was all good. And they have a new investor, a different guy, I guess. And but you know, I guess that's what they get paid. They said that they're still going to, you know, pay us, and that he's working on getting our money, and that the investor guy went out and got drunk after the fights, like went out and partied and got super smashed, and he was trying to tell him, hey man, we need to get them, you know, get these fighters their money. And the guy was like, oh, I'll pay him later on this week or whatever. And he's like, no, this is not how it works. Because the other guy had never, I guess, through an MMA show or whatever, it was just some big rich and Korean investor. And so he's like, yeah, I'll pay him whenever. And he's like, dude, this is how it works. So yeah, that's pretty much where it left off at.
Crazy.
And yeah, we're waiting to get paid now. We had to give him the matchmaker our wire transfer, bank account numbers, all this crap. So
it wasn't until I saw the match being lined up. Well, you fought Raja Shippen. I had trained with him a ton of times at Rain when I would be in California. He's super talented in his striking, but his wrestling isn't you know, the best. And I know your wrestling jiu-jitsu is top notch, you know. I didn't get a chance to see the match, but I saw it was coming up. I was like, oh man, I know both these guys are talented at what they do. Tell us about the fight.
Yeah, you know, I knew he's super dangerous with his elbows, and you know, kickboxing, he could throw elbows from all kinds of different angles, and you know, just really tricky on his feet. You know, good striking, athletic guy, and you know, I heard through the grapevine, obviously, and everybody knows everybody. He took 2 years off from training, from fighting just to focus on his wrestling and, you know, his grappling and all that kind of stuff. So he took 2 years off just training full time with you know, trained a little bit in LA and then also Australian top team. And so, yeah, he's just, you know, supposed to have improved a huge bunch, which he was a tough guy, you know, and I just went out there, did what I normally do. I just body locked him, took him down, and I pretty much just dominated him for all 3 rounds. You know, I think even a round was 10-8 round. But I didn't want to submit the guy. I'm always submitting him, so I just wanted to TKO him and beat him up, but he was so sticky at hanging on to me. I never fought a guy in 46 fights that could hang on to me, like tie me up that well on the ground. Like I could not get my freaking hands free. I'd get free and punch him 2-3 times, try to posture, and he'd somehow get back a hold of me again. And I spent my arms were so gassed. I've never, you know, in a wrestling match, you know, back in the day in college, your arms would get so blown up, pumped from gripping. Like I never had that happen really at an MMA match where my arms were that pumped. And dude, that fight, I couldn't even move my arms. But you know, I elbowed him, beat him up the whole time, but couldn't put the guy away with punches. He did a really good job. And by the time I tried to go for submission, I had him in a really deep guillotine choke at the end of the round. And and just didn't have enough time left. So,
Bryan,
but,
you are
tough dude.
You're the definition of a journeyman.
Yeah,
46 fights or 47 fights?
Yeah,
That's
got a bunch.
insane.
Yeah, and that's with the last 7 or 8 years barely even fighting, only once or twice a year. So
Right,
I had most of those fights, like 35.
What made you leave the UFC, or they released you, or what happened there?
Yeah,
I was unaware.
Yeah, a little bit of both. I kind of left on. I asked for my release. They weren't giving me fights, but they were already thinking about releasing me anyway. I don't know. Just I kind of was pissed off about a bunch of stuff. Like the last 4 or 5 guys that I fought were getting paid,
Yep.
as much as I was to win to lose. I beat Aljamain Sterling, and I think he made as much as I did to lose as I did to win. So, I was like top 10, top 5 in the world for like 3-4 years in a row.
For a long time. Yeah, I remember that.
And I was just getting paid. I was probably the lowest paid guy in the whole entire UFC, probably in the top 10. I was just getting, not that great of pay. And some things were my own fault, and, timing and some injuries and some other stuff. But I don't know, just, hindsight's 2020. I kind of wish I would have kept my mouth shut, because the UFC is still the lead #1 promotion in the world. Regardless, even if my pay was bad compared to the UFC, it was still good to other places. So, I think, I'm going to go out and smash a few guys, get in a 3 or 4 fight win streak, and hopefully, re-get signed back to the UFC. But, it's just I gotta do things their way a little bit. As you know, I managed Meisha Tate and coached her for 10 years, and I don't think that did me well.
Right.
Speaking on her behalf of the UFC, kind of being the bad guy, so I got them not liking me, basically talking crap to the UFC. So I they used to love me, and then I got bad reviews from them talking to Meisha and negotiating her contracts and just being difficult in that aspect. And that's when I learned the value of a good manager. They could always take the fall and be the bad guy. But in this aspect, I was being the bad guy for the manager, but it was leaking over into my career. So it was, hindsight's 2020. So
if I can ask, like, whatever happened with that? You and Miss Tate.
Just we were together for a long time. We were together for almost 10 years.
Yeah.
And just a lot of different personal things, and kind of just grew apart a little bit, just with age and time, and shit happens in relationships, and we just kind of drifted apart and ended up going our own ways.
Yeah, because I know, over time people change sometimes, and I remember being in a relationship where just 4 years down the road, I was just like, you know what? Like, you're not the same person. I'm not the same person, and that's how it's supposed to be, though.
Yeah, exactly.
In my head, I feel like marriage, I'm not saying you guys are married, but in general, marriage should be a 10-year lease, if you will.
Yeah, right.
Like, after 10 years, like, hey, like, you have a good time? Like, I agree. Like, you want to or no?
You want to renew this, or should we just cut the cord? Yeah.
But, like,
They
marriage,
say people change every 7 years. They say people's taste buds change, their personality changes, their whole entire life, view changes on with time, and it's crazy. So, yeah, I think, just, her, surgence of fame and notoriety and all that kind of stuff. And, I was in the UFC as well. Both of our careers kind of spending too much time. I was talking to a counselor, and they said that the time that we had spent together in those 10 years was the equivalent time that a different marriage couple would have spent 33 years together.
Wow.
Because taking into account hourly throughout days, most people, they go to work, wife is at home, the wife goes to work, they spend time, but we're at the gym together, we travel together, we do this together. So we were spending 3 times as much, a little over 3 times as much time together as any other normal relationship.
Which makes sense, because I've been in relationships where I'm like, man, I would go away for a weekend, I'm like, I needed that. Like, I was around her too, you know what I mean? And like, I'd be away, like, you miss me? I'm like, well, I don't want to lie to you. I don't miss you. I'm going to see you Monday. I've been only away a day,
Yeah, you got to have your own lives, you got to have your own characters. You got to have your own, you got to be your own person.
So hang on. So you spoke about, your relationship with Meisha Tate, her being like a star and stuff like that in the UFC, because Miss Paige Van Zant, I believe she's like, I've heard she's a diva. I don't know personally. I've met her personally. She's a sweetheart, but I've heard that she's a diva, and that she's kind of the reason why her boyfriend, who's a fucking complete stud badass, is not in the UFC.
Yeah, it's people think it's going to be a great idea. You know what I mean? Like, look at the shit I went through dating Meisha. I mean, firsthand. You've known me. We're all Ultimate Fighter together. How much people talk shit. Other fighters talk shit.
Mr. Tate.
Fans. Yeah, exactly. It's fucking ridiculous.
Like,
no
on,
matter
man.
no matter how good I was. I beat at one point I was number 3 in the world.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. It's just nobody gives you the notoriety. So you think that it could help you, and there are aspects that it could have helped out. But overall, I think it's almost more of a negative. You become, more infamous than famous. And, they say any publicity is good publicity, but sometimes if you don't, if the right people, like I said, he's not in the UFC, maybe, but that could be hurting his career, definitely. Is he maybe getting more followers and more eyes on him? People know him because of her? Yes. But is he in the UFC? Maybe not in there because of her? Possibly,
Right.
So it's a double-edged sword.
And then, but like in terms of you talking about, you were making just as much as you to win as the guys you were fighting to lose. It's unfortunate that you have to have this like soap opera following and constantly putting on your social media and stuff like that to get paid that.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
would say there's a very strong correlation between what you get paid and your following.
Yeah, I agree. And, for a while, actually, I had probably one of the biggest followings on Ultimate Fighter from our season originally.
Yeah.
Because probably of Meisha. So, people were following. They wanted
Right.
to see her. But it wasn't even necessarily for me. But
Right.
also because of that, because I would get so much shit talking to me by fans and just other people. And now it doesn't bother me. Now I'm like, I figured
Right.
it out. But in the beginning, it was really, people didn't know me. And I'd get super upset. So I just shied away from all social media. I was like, fuck this.
Right.
I'm not doing it. I don't give a shit about this. I'm going to be the best in the world. And I didn't realize how much money I was leaving on the table by just not caring and doing my social media. So,
Right.
By not growing with the social media, I had a head start, and I kind of got way behind on that. And I think you're absolutely right. That is a huge difference to be able to get paid and marketability and that kind of stuff. And just having the relationship with her made me shy, shy away from it.
I can see it.
So.
I can see it,
So what's going on in Bryan Caraway's dating life now?
Ooh.
Oh, my dating life now? Well, I was kind of playing the field for a while, using that UFC likeliness to meeting other girls.
Were you on dating websites or what?
No, not really. I just, I tried them out a little bit here and there. Met a couple, pretty cool chicks, but.
What's the line?
Bold.
What's the line? What's the line?
More than a lie is just smile, just having confidence. I realize that's the biggest thing. Just smiling, walking in the room with a big smile no matter what. You're smiling all the time. You walk in the room smiling. Most everybody else, you walk into a bar, they're not smiling. They're kind of looking serious. You walk in, you smile, you have a big chest, chin up, and not being afraid to approach any girl. You go up to the hottest girl in the room and treat her like she's, the ugliest girl in the room. Not necessarily. You don't have to be rude. You don't have to be rude to her, but just treat her like it don't matter. Like, hey, you know what I mean? So
you treat her like she's a human being.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Right.
It doesn't matter. So you just treat them. It doesn't make any difference at all. And so that was fun. But I've been seeing this girl for a while. Actually, we kind of on and off for, probably a year and a half, and now I finally made it official. We've been dating for actually fully official for the last, I think, 6 months now. So
congratulations, man.
Yeah, she's amazing. She's
send me
beautiful,
pics.
super good person.
Yeah, send me a couple pics.
Yeah, she's smoking red hot. I'd say she's a lot of people, even myself, probably argue she's too hot for me, too sweet for me.
Well, hang on. You gotta date up, you gotta marry up. That's the move.
Right, exactly. I know. So she's amazing. She's all the things that Meisha wasn't in a good way.
Nice.
And just different. It's just different roles. I'm more I guess the more traditional masculine feminine role. So
nice.
That feels nice for change.
All right, I like that, Bryan Caraway. It's good to, when you have that bad relationship, that obviously public breakup, it's good to move on, get things going in the right direction.
I agree, man. It's good. You only live one life. You can't sit and dwell too long.
Brian,
life will leave you by.
Brian, we're a little short on time. We got another guest
No worries.
lined up. I want to get you back on. I want to reminisce about The Ultimate Fighter. I want to reminisce about, where you've trained, the whole nine. I want to do some catching up, and we'll do it on a future episode. You game?
Yeah, let's do it, man.
All right,
Hit me up. You got my number. Text me whenever.
I will give you a better heads up, though.
We went super deep with Coach Mel. That's what happened.
No worries, man. I'm chill.
You're the man, big dog.
Have a good night.
You
have
too,
a good
bro.
night, guys. Later. Bye.
Peace. Former teammate, TUF 14, Bryan Caraway. We're going to hop right into...
Should we hop into Dean and then Jeff Smith?
Jeff Smith was about to go for a run.
We might have lost Dean, but all right, let's go Jeff Smith then. Because I feel like...
We can get Dean, right?
What do you mean, again?
Yeah. Or run it.
I don't know. We could try.
Or what are we gonna give him 10? We're gonna.
Yeah, I figured even 10.
Yeah.
Do the 10-minute the hype up to the next one. Where am I? But man, I like the TUF 14 aspect that we're going.
I know. I could have.
So I feel like when we talk to Jeff Smith, you're just gonna go lineman, and you guys are gonna have like an in-depth lineman conversation. So I mean, oh man, yeah, we kind of went a little hectic tonight, but you know what it was? The fact that we changed times and we went a little last minute on all of our guests. But that happens.
Well, we
went way over with Coach Mel.
We came in today with no guests.
Yeah. Well, no, we came in with
just Dean.
No, we were gonna have Ben Askren and Andrea Lee. But that was when I had a show at 4. So even I want to go put this light on real quick and get us a little bit of illumination out here. How'd you like this episode so far out on the deck?
Is Dean? Where's Dean at? Jeff's ready.
All right, so let's go for... I'm sure he's going to text me once we call up Jeff, so let's go for Jeff.
All right. Because I could always tell Jeff to go fuck off. Dean's calling us.
Yeah. Or we'll call you right back.
What's up, buddy?
Yo! Jeff Smith.
What the heck's up, dude?
Talk to my homie real quick.
Curse on this thing or no?
What?
Am I allowed to curse or is that?
Fuck yeah.
Say whatever the fuck you
What's your best
want.
curse word? Stan, introduce yourself. Tell them who you are.
How are you, Jeff Smith? Stan the Man here. I'm the man on the Menace and The Man. What are you going to do, Dennis?
What's up, buddy?
Oh, he's going to go get us some illumination. We're currently filming at Menace Headquarters in the backyard. We set it up on the little patio he has. Oh, did we lose you, Jeff?
What's up?
No, you're there. So how are you today, Jeff Smith?
Yeah, good, man. I didn't have to work a double today, so that's always a good day.
So you're a lineman, right?
Yeah, I'm a lineman apprentice. There's a difference between being a lineman and an apprentice.
Oh, so you guys got the same exact job right now,
Yeah,
too.
but he's much deeper.
I'll be 2 years in next month, and Dennis is about a month in, right, Dennis?
See?
Yeah.
See? Hey, let's back up a little bit. Let's get the lineman in a second. But let's talk about... Jeff was my first training partner that I was like, oh, damn. Like, I need to look up to this guy because he's got some skills that I can... that I fucks with. No, I'm dead ass.
Quickly passed up by Dennis, though.
No, I mean, what? Within 6 months, but...
No, not that quick. Come on now.
Bro, I was taking you down instantly. But you'd, like, get me in some weird shit. So, Jeff Smith, the submission technician.
Yep.
Oh, that was his nickname?
That was his nickname. And Jeff, did you teach yourself all of your jiu-jitsu that you know?
I mean, that'd be pretty ignorant to say all of it, but a good portion of it.
But you just would watch YouTube videos, come to the gym, and try it on people, no?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it was, Steve taught us a lot of stuff. Steve Blackman was our original gym I went to, but Steve's, 260 pounds of solid muscle.
Right. So the things he would do don't necessarily work for guys like you and me.
Guys our size, yeah, exactly.
So Jeff Smith from PA.
Yes. Yeah. I came into Blackman MMA, and I went in, and I said, where are your best guys? And Steve pointed into the back of the cage. It was Jeff Smith, Daryl,
Yeah, Daryl. Yeah.
And
Probably Mike. Mike was pretty decent at that time.
and I think it was Mike, because I don't think Jay was there right away.
No,
he came
was
a little.
at a different gym. Yeah.
Yeah, and Mike, and I went with all three of them. Jeff was the first one to tap me out. And then Daryl did get a submission on me. I think all three of them got a submission on me. But we had been rolling for a long time. You know what I mean? It wasn't like they were just snatching shit up right away.
I don't even know how you remember that, Dennis. I can't.
It was my first day.
That was like 11 years ago.
Yeah, you always remember your first day vividly.
Wow, it was. Well, hang on. Dude, I had thought about this day for so long. I was like, I'm going to go in there. I'm going to say, where are your best guys? Let me figure it out fucking instantly if I could do this or not.
Yeah.
And if I went in there and got fucking piss pounded and didn't have a chance, I was going home and that was going to shut it down.
Yeah, well, you knew that wasn't going to happen.
I went in there, I took down
wrestling.
everybody, and, like, was giving them a hard time. I didn't know shit. It was like...
The best was when you were pretty new and you and Vinny boxed the guys in jail now. Remember that?
Oh, right.
You beat the shit out of them. That was like a guy from another gym came in. He was like their top dog. And where did he wrestle? He wrestled in college for a little bit. Then got kicked out.
Old Dominion?
No. It was in Pennsylvania. What is that? One of the Division I schools, a small one. Not Bloomsburg where you went, but it would be
Millville, Lock Haven.
Yeah. I think he wrestled at Lock Haven.
Okay.
Yeah, and you starched him, and he was, like, astonished. This guy looked like a freaking Chippendale dancer, too.
This guy was yoked. Probably 100. Hang on. The thing is, and to be honest, though, like, Jeff Smith is one of those guys that even to this day, he's my dude. Yeah. Like, I look up to him and, like, because, like, Jeff he had this, you have this way you walk about you or what you think of things, like, not a big deal. And I was like, dude, Jeff, that guy's 185 pounds of all muscle. And you were like, yeah, so, like, yeah. I'm gonna go in there and fuck him up. And I, like, started, like, there's a saying, like, hang out with the people you want to be like.
Yeah.
And Jeff Smith's a good guy to be around.
Yeah.
I mean, you'll curse a lot and, like,
yeah.
You may not want to cut weight and, like, you may want to eat cheeseburgers and shit like that. But, like, in terms of,
it wasn't
like...
cheeseburgers. It was burritos, man.
Oh, right. We would go to Nito Burrito, right?
Yeah, for sure.
But Jeff had this, like, nah, fuck him. I don't give a shit. I don't care how big he is. And I started adapting this attitude because Jeff Smith had this attitude. And I was, like, right there with Jeff Smith. So, like, if he thought that, then, like, why can't I think that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's the attitude you got to have when you fight, man. You can't go in there with any kind of doubt in yourself. And if you have doubt, then...
Yeah.
I mean, everybody has doubt sometimes. Did I train hard enough? You know, is this guy better than me? Did I cut weight enough? The right way? Everybody's got doubt, but you just have to have that confidence. And when you... That's my motto, man. Anything I put my mind to, I could do. So,
right.
Except for make weight. That was always...
No, you always made it, though, right?
A couple times I missed it.
Yeah, but you would always, like, he would like to, like, push it as close as he could, and that's why
you want to hear. You want to hear a real good story for
duh.
The show. Okay. So it was my World Series of Fighting fight in Las Vegas. I was fighting Gerard Sanders, who was in the UFC. He wrestled at Oklahoma D1 or Oklahoma State, and I'm like, I get down there and I was like 5-6 pounds over, and I was like dying before the fight. I was actually probably 8, a day or two before the fight. And, they put the scale out the day of the fight. That way you could check your weight. It was the night before. And I stepped on it. I was like, man, I have no idea how I'm going to make weight. I'm like 3-4 pounds over, and I had nothing left in the gas tank, like dry heaving, throwing up in the sauna. Jack Valentine went down with me. I never told anybody this story except for, a couple people. So I'm sitting there, and I'm like 4 or 5 pounds over on the scale, and I got to figure out how to beat this scale. And mind be it that it's the Nevada Athletic Commission. So we're sitting there, and the scale, how like in high school wrestling, the scale is just like a flat scale, and it has like a cord, and then it reads it off on the side. This scale had a bar in the middle of it, and it read it right in front of you. So I figured if I got butt naked on stage and put my 2 big toes on that bar and pushed down.
Right, that was your move. He always told me to hang my toes off the scale.
And I floated at 4 pounds. I was 4 pounds over for that fight. And I made weight because I pushed my big toes down on top of the scale. It saved me like 40% fine. So, hey, I was.
Oh, my gosh.
That's amazing.
Yeah. And so, hang on. So, he had me sparring this huge jack dude. And every time he sparred, shirt off. Yeah. I remember some other guys came from another gym. This guy was a legit fat ass. He was 240 pounds. And I remember someone was in there moving around with him. And, like, we kind of, like, there was no weight classes at Blackman MMA. Like, if you came, you sparred with whoever showed up. That's how it worked. So, Jeff's outside the cage with me, and I'm like, yo, I'm going to go in there. I'm going to double leg that guy. He's like, no chance. He's 240. I'm like, watch this. I go in. I fucking light this dude up. I double leg him. Not just like run him down, lift him and run him across the cage. 24-year-old, or no, I was 22 at the time.
Yeah, young, dumb, and full of cum.
You remember that guy? 240.
I don't.
He was like he was like a shorter guy.
I got hit in the head a lot, Dennis. You know, I wasn't much of a bobber or weaver. I was taking on the forehead and trying to hit back harder.
So I remember our boxing coach showed us it was called a rock back. Rock back. The guy comes forward. You hit him with a 2. And I was moving around with Jeff, and I actually hit the rock back on him and give him the stanky leg. Right? That's what Jeff called it, the stanky leg, because that song had just come out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jeff. All right, hey, let me take a second. Then he's like, yo, he made a joke about it. Like, yo, like after I hit him, he's like, oh shit, you just gave me the stanky leg. And like, I mean, a lot of people, their ego gets in the way with the fight game. Like where if you knock someone down, maybe they tuck it away and they fucking, go home that night and they're mad at themselves, or they're embarrassed, or they come back super angry and try to like hurt their own training partner. That's another thing. Like, Jeff's one of the first people I worked with. There's many times where Jeff could have broken my arm.
Yeah. But
didn't, because I was a good training partner. He kind of showed me the ways of respect and having fun in there. And
that was what, 20, I was 21, you're 20. How old are you now? 32 or 31?
32.
All right, so you're a year older than me. I was 21. And this was before, like, you had any legit schools in Pennsylvania. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Blackman MMA was like the first one.
Yeah, it was before it was even legal in Pennsylvania.
Right.
Literally, one of the guys in our gym was the first professional fight in Pennsylvania. Jay.
Yes.
And so, I mean, it was kind of figure it out as you go, man. Me and you, I had never had any formal jiu-jitsu training with the gi on. I never saw any use for it because I was there to fight. And I was great on the ground. I would tap black belts out that were like at Gracie gyms in Pennsylvania. And I'm like, why do I need a belt if I'm tapping out their instructor in banana splits and twisters? Why do I need to go get a belt for that? So it was kind of, and you're the same way, you know what I mean? It's like, gis are nice.
Well, I'm a white belt, one stripe right now, currently.
Yeah, exactly.
So and I'm working on it.
How many brown belts and black belts can you tap out to no gi? Probably a lot.
Maybe.
He's got to out-condition them, and then he'll start grabbing guillotines and stuff.
It's all right. He's going to be white belt for a while. Now he's a lineman. He's going to get big, fat, and work all the time. That's just the way it rolls.
No, this guy runs. He, with his free time, he's into working out.
Jeff, I was going to send you a video. I worked at 16, and I ran, 3 or 4. I ran to Stan's house.
That Saturday, yeah.
Yeah, I was going to send you a video, but I was like, later.
Yeah, that won't last for much longer. Just wait till, the big checks start coming in. You won't even be able to resist, Dennis.
So, let's talk linemen. Like I said, and you told me this, you didn't know what the fuck was up until 6 months in.
Yeah, well, my training was a lot longer than yours. My training, my line school was 13 weeks, and yours was 3 weeks.
Hang on. I was in climbing school for 3 weeks. Now I'm in apprenticeship. I'm out in the field for 10 weeks. I go back to climbing or to construction school for I'm not exactly sure how long. And then there's secondary school, hot secondary school, and then hot primary school, and I don't know I don't know the time in between these things.
Yeah. Yeah. See, we're a little bit different. We came out qualified to work secondary work right out of school, and then we pretty much were able to do anything as long as they felt confident with you in the air. You have to go in the air with another, like a journeyman lineman, or we call.
And are you in hooks? You're in gaffs, or are you in a bucket truck?
Yeah, we do both. But in training, the 13-week training was all out of the hooks.
Okay.
Yeah.
So for the people at home watching, hooks are.
Yeah, it's what you use to climb a pole.
It's kind of like a little, but it's like a little, attachment that hooks onto your shoe with a spike that you punch into the side of the pole that, lets you climb it.
Google it. That's all you got to say.
Google it. Jeff, have you ever thought about the lineman rodeo?
What is that?
Because my company doesn't promote the lineman rodeo. I think you have to go there through your company, and we don't send anybody.
Okay.
They haven't sent anybody in a while.
So my company, before it was PSNG, because before your company was even your company. What's your company, Jeff? Petco?
Pico.
Pico.
Excellent.
Before it was Pico, it was another company, right?
No, it's always been Pico.
Always, forever.
Electric company, yeah.
Huh. Because on Long Island, they keep shifting who owns it.
Yeah, well, Pico is owned by Exelon, but it's always just been called Pico.
Oh.
And it's probably the kind of same thing with you guys.
But the last, or it might have been Lipa, or Lipa, when Lipa owns what's now PSCG, I think they paid my instructor to train for the rodeo, and he went out and got paid to do it. I don't think PSCG, which is the company I'm in now, does that. Yeah. But I'm sure with a UFC card, I probably could.
Now, are we talking actual rodeo?
No, rodeo in terms of, like, you go out to Missouri.
You're going to ride a bull.
No. You put on lineman gear. Like, for example, you start with nothing on. You have to throw on your hooks, your belt, and climb up and down a pole under a certain amount of time.
And it's a competition.
Yes.
Oh, my God. That's you all day.
Yeah,
I know,
like
but some of the competitions are not like I think they're not about athletics. Cause a lot of them are like some technique. Like, for example, like you have to do a rescue. You have to go up and like let down a dummy or something like that. And then in terms of going up and down as fast as you can, you have to like carry an egg up and then put the egg in your mouth and carry it down without it's breaking. I'm like, what? That's
Weird
some
shit.
like
Yeah,
little
I've never
kid
even
like
heard any of
hokey
that stuff.
pokey like.
Still, that would be a pretty fun experience, I'd imagine.
I want
Are they
to do
paying
like
you?
brute. No, I mean, I'm sure I could be like, hey, PSCG. I used to be like, I could bring home gold for us. Come on, pay me to do this. But I don't know. Out in the Midwest, like, right, Jeff? These guys, that's all they do, right?
Yeah, I mean, those guys whose dads have done this, whose grandpas have done this, and they're little skinny, wiry guys, and
Like they're in hooks at like fucking 6.
5.
Yeah.
It's not really a Puerto Rican game. It might be.
Now I also didn't start wrestling until I was in 7th grade, and I got pretty far.
Yeah.
Now what? Most of the people that excel are the people that start at 5, right? No, I
Not
feel like there's
necessarily.
some other
I mean,
people.
some guys get burnt out.
Didn't Usman start in like high school?
I have no clue.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I've heard a lot of stories of people starting later than 7th grade.
Yeah, but they hit it hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now what, Jeff? You just did jiu-jitsu. You weren't a wrestler?
I wrestled a little bit in high school, but just enough to get a good base.
No, he
Just
taught
jiu-jitsu.
himself all of his jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, but he said you
Yeah.
didn't
On
want
Look at my
YouTube.
record.
No, you didn't go to like a jiu-jitsu school, right?
Nah, I pretty much just YouTube, saw stuff on UFC, watched little videos. They used to have this like Sheer Dog Gracie move of the week or something like that. I want
Oh,
to say.
for sure. You can learn a lot from it just watching
That's
it.
Yeah, and,
Jeff, that's crazy.
Yeah. If you look at my record, I think overall with my amateur fights, which my amateur fights were all under professional rules before it was even
Same.
legal in Pennsylvania. I think I was 16-3, and then I think 13 of my wins are by submission, and I hit like north-south choke, toe hold, arm bar, all kinds of submissions, triangle chokes. I mean, I hit a lot of submissions, and they were all basically self-learned and self-taught, but you learn you learn from who you go with. So you get a guy that comes from out of town for 2 weeks, knows something, you see it and you use it, and then you just redo it over and over and over and try to make it better. And that's kind of the way I rolled. It was all kind of, Steve taught me some stuff, but I don't want to discredit that. He was a huge influence, but when you're 160 pounds, you got to just learn what works for you. And not every submission works for every guy. You know what I mean?
For sure. So I remember I was cornering Jeff one time in Pennsylvania, and this big jacked Irish dude, looking back at now, he might have been on something. This guy was yoked, and he's kind of the stand-up is kind of 50-50, but he's kind of having his way with Jeff in terms of taking him down and kind of hanging on to him. I'm like, yo, Jeff. In between, was it the second going to the third round?
Oh, I don't even know. Is it the one where I fought Cody Stevens?
Was he looks like a goddamn leprechaun on steroids?
Yeah, that was him. Yeah.
So I'm like, Jeff, bro, get the fuck off your back. You gotta win this fight. You're not gonna win off your back. He's looked at me man, I got this. I'm like, yo, you're stupid. You're fucked up. This is you're about to lose this fight, and you, to me, you don't care. That's the look he gave me. I got it. Sure enough, third round, fucking armbars the guy. I'm like, you motherfucker. He's like, Dan, I was feeling that the whole time. I'm like, fuck you, dude. Yo, because we would be Stan, you've been to a lot of fights where you watch guys warm up in the back. Their coaches are there. They're hitting pads with them. They're going over techniques. For us, we'd be in the back. It'd be me, him, our boy Mike. We'd be just we would just be do a couple of stretches, little shadow box by ourselves, go out and fight. No one was holding mitts for us, and we weren't going over technique. We would just tell each other what we're gonna do to our opponent, and that was I don't know, and we just go out and do it.
In all seriousness, Blackman's MMA was kind of known as the Outcast gym, because it was the original MMA gym, and you'd have jiu-jitsu gyms. You had jiu-jitsu gyms in York, Lancaster, and Philly. They would come in thinking they were good at jiu-jitsu, but we weren't just jiu-jitsu guys. We would fight, and we would fight. We would spar 3 times a week, and I would never wear headgear because I always thought, what's the point? I'm still gonna get hit. What's the point of wearing headgear? And those guys, it was literally freaking a den of killers. So these guys would all come, and then their best guy would come and get smoked by 4 or 5 guys, and they would never come back.
Yeah, we went pretty hard.
So now, why'd you stop fighting, Jeff? Did life just get in the way?
There.
Yeah.
It was just time to grow up, man. I was tired of being poor.
Delicious.
Dennis took it further than anybody has out of that gym. He had a great career in the UFC, had a lot of fights, but it was really just it's time to grow up, man. I was tired of being poor. When you're fighting on a local regional circuit, if you're getting $2,500 a show, $2,500, that's to win. That's a great payday. And say you win 5 fights a year, that's $25,000. That's nothing. You know what I mean? What can you do with $25,000? Nothing.
You were there. I'm looking at your record. You made it to the Ultimate Fighter. You were season 15, so you were the year after Menace. And then even your last fight, you beat Bryan Caraway. Do you still watch the fights? You've seen Caraway.
Yeah,
Kelleher's winning the UFC.
Yeah, I watch him occasionally. It's just, dude, fighting's a grind on you physically, emotionally, mentally. And, dude, when you're 24, 25, have nothing to your name, you're broke. You know what I mean? It's depressing. And it was just time. When you don't have the fire, it's just time to hang it up. And, it was time to pursue a career,
Yeah.
When you're at 25, 26, that's an important place in your life that's the thing with guys in the MMA and the UFC, they got to have a backup plan. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if it's, I'm not saying you got to go to school, you got to do this, but you got to start learning the trade, start making yourself look good on your resume to be hired somewhere else. Because really, man,
because once they're done with you, they're going to spit, it's not like they have a place for you to go. Once MMA in general is done with you, it's not like they're like, oh yeah, we got a job for you over here. You're gonna make this much money, or we've been putting money away for you, and
you have a retirement program. No. We have a job. Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Exactly.
What? You lost 3 in a? Oh, well, you're no good to us anymore.
Bryan Caraway, he lost 2 in a row. All right, well, let's talk. We want to have a conversation with you. You know,
Yeah.
they were fine letting him go, apparently.
Yep, that's how it is, man. It was just
You know who
saw
they
the
weren't
writing
fine
on the
letting
wall,
go?
man.
Dennis
For me to-
Bermudez.
For me to make it back, into the UFC, I would have had to maybe go on like a 3-4 fight win streak, and I just wasn't.
That
up
would have
for it,
taken
man.
that would have taken a full year.
Yeah, at
minimal.
least probably a year and a half if you're lucky, because the regional circuit, so many fights fall through. You're not going to fight for cheap, and a lot of guys just,
Yeah.
They just want you to fight for nothing. And when you have 10 wins under your belt, you're on the Ultimate Fighter. You don't want to fight for $1,000 and $1,000 plus
Yeah.
$5 a ticket. You
Yeah.
just don't want to do that anymore.
Yeah. Because
You know
Jeff,
what I mean?
like you said, Stan, Jeff was the season after me. He fought to get in the house, but the difference between
lost.
Jeff's season and my season was his season you had one round to prove you belonged in the house. So,
Yeah.
and I remember watching it and vividly like, yo, this is my boy. Like, he's going to crush it. And he was, he was beating the guy in the stand-up. It was definitely in Jeff's favor. The guy shot and took Jeff down, right?
I put him in a knee bar, and if you watch
No,
the
but he
film,
took you
even
down,
Uriah
right?
Faber says
He
it.
took you down, right?
Yeah, he took
Right.
me down.
Jeff hit 3, not 1, 3, like right. They were right fucking there. Submissions where the guy was like
Yeah.
almost about to tap, but the guy was on top.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, if you're on top and you're just fucking hanging on for a ride and defending submissions, are those points in your favor?
No, I don't think. But
Yeah, but it just depends on the judge. Now,
Yeah,
had
exactly.
Jeff been given 2 more rounds, that guy would have got finished 1,000%.
Yeah, I think I would have subbed him.
For sure.
That was my mentality. It's kind of like a shark in the water, and I'd get it eventually. So.
And that's why. So after you didn't get in the house and you didn't get in the show, you're like, fuck this, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
You didn't fight anymore?
They asked me like in the interview after the fight. They're like, "Well, who do you want to see win that you're not now that you're not in the house?" And I'm like, "To be honest, I could give a shit less. I'm not even gonna watch this now."
Yeah, I wouldn't.
Fuck that.
I tell you what would be in your favor is not the fight to get in the house, with only like if they had it then was the Contender Series.
Yeah, no doubt.
That would have been gold for you.
Yeah, but the problem is I'm like a jiu-jitsu guy, man. They're always looking for freaking knockout artists on that show. That's how I feel like. So
Yeah,
it's
but
like,
if you
my
sub
shit's
the
not
dude
that
real
exciting,
quick.
But, I don't know.
yeah, they're looking for.
I feel like submissions are on their way out in the UFC. Now it's just, I mean, you don't see that many as you used to, in my opinion. Nothing like you see your standard arm bars and.
Well,
rear
you
naked
see,
chokes
yeah.
and
You see
guillotines,
when
but
someone
don't
gives
see
up and
anything-
like, yeah, you can have my neck.
Yeah, exactly.
You
And
know.
you can tell when somebody gives up, especially when you're a fighter. I would coach guys down in Virginia and for amateur and pro fights, and I could just tell when they gave up, and I got no respect for those people. My pro debut, man, I remember I slammed the guy, hit him, I jumped, but I hit like a high crotch.
Can I pause you real quick?
Yeah.
So before Jeff's pro debut, I had already been in the gym for some time, and I was going over takedowns with him and stuff like that, right? He loses because he got knocked out. The other guy didn't knock him out. Jeff Smith knocked out Jeff Smith. He comes back after the loss like, oh, I thought I was supposed to slam him this way. I'm like, no. So he picked the guy up in the double, and when he went to spike him, Jeff jumped on his own head versus pushing the guy over with his head.
Yeah.
No. Dennis,
I wrong?
The story was, if you
Alright, go
watch the video, it's on YouTube. I pick him up to slam him, and he grabs the top of the cage, which completely stopped my momentum from dumping him the other way. And he had a guillotine choke wrapped on me. And then if he has a guillotine, it doesn't matter because you're going to dump his legs the opposite way. But he stopped my momentum, and I had one choice. It was either get choked out or slam him the other way. So I'm like, I'm just going to slam him the other way. And I landed on my head, and he choked me unconscious anyway.
And that's your only, like, actual loss, no?
Well, Gerard Sanders at World Series of Fighting, I lost a 3-round decision. He just took me down and elbowed me.
And wait, you're
Okay.
saying this was the first amateur fight or the?
No, his
First
pro
fight,
debut.
yeah.
Yeah, John.
Then I won
Hang
9
on.
straight.
So
yeah.
Jeff Smith, on paper, seriously, has one real loss where the guy on that night was better.
But even it's just funny, like the MMA world. Like the guy that he fought that night is the guy Hugh McKenna beat in Bellator. And then even like his last fight, he beat Bryan Kelleher. Like Jeff Smith's last fight. It's just funny how it's such a small world. Like Dennis now trains with Bryan Kelleher.
Yeah, no, Jeff Smith is the deal.
Yeah.
Like I remember, like so when I was fighting Kawajiri, Jeff came out to support because I was fighting in Pennsylvania, and you know he's around Greg, and Greg looked up his record. He's like, dude, why the fuck did this guy stop fighting? Like
I was thinking that same exact
really good.
thing. Yeah, that's why I was asking him. Why is he done? Why he stopped?
I mean, he's making good money now. He's married. He's got twins.
Twin daughters, yeah.
Twin
14
daughters.
months today.
You know, it's. What's he gonna do? Stop being a lineman and not have benefits for his kids, and you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
The only reason it makes sense for Jeff Smith to, and this is honest, to quit being a lineman was, Jeff, how much would you have to get paid to fight for it to make sense? 200,000?
Oh, no, linemen make more than that.
No, 200,000 per fight. Say you fight 2-3 times. You know what I mean?
Yeah, probably 200,000.
Like, say he fights twice a year at 200. Like, that's what it has to. That would make sense for him to quit being a lineman.
Yeah. Pretty much when a lineman, I mean, lineman is like the best blue collar job you could get, essentially. So it's like people that don't know. It's weird because you're not really even supposed to talk about the money that linemen make, but yeah,
it's a good job to have.
But yeah, basically,
good job. Like great benefits, union, cool trade, dangerous work, which for people like me and Jeff, we like that. We fought for a living.
Yeah.
You don't think our life being on the line, like while we're up at fucking 40, 60, 70 feet in the air, like, is a little exciting?
What's the highest you've gone off the ground?
35 feet.
Highest? Probably
Me.
70 foot. I've climbed to 75.
I'm not there yet. They won't let me. I'm still like a very, very new apprentice.
So now you have no fear of heights. You'd go up that 70-foot pole. No problem.
If Jeff
don't even
Smith,
think about it.
well, no, the thing is like I'm in a class, right? Dennis ain't raised by no bitch. Like if let me see one dude go up there, guess who's going right behind him?
Exactly, dude. It's not. You see one dude, you want to be the first dude.
Right, and with that being said, right, you go up. You're gonna do it fucking 30, 40, 100 times. You get comfortable with it. You get, all right, this is cool. I'm cool up here.
Yeah.
So
well, the great thing is, line work's not going anywhere. It's something that you can make a great living off of. Your family's going to be set forever as long as you spend your money right. And you find a lot of guys that blow crazy money. They have to have the shore house, the big house, and a boat, and a $60,000 truck. As long as you don't get sucked into that life and you save your money and you spend it good, man, you'll be set. Your family will be set. You're going to have a great retirement. You have great health care. I got a 401k. I got a pension plan. That's all stuff the UFC doesn't provide.
Yeah.
And that's all stuff you need to live. I mean, your fight career is how long? And think of all the damage you take.
Yeah.
All the damage
you're taking years off your life.
Yeah, think of all the damage Dennis has taken in this fight. How many fights did Dennis have that were just slugfests? At least 5-6 of them in the UFC alone. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Counting the amateur backwoods fights that nobody even knows about. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So.
Oh yeah, fighting's a very tough sport.
Yeah. I mean, definitely though. I mean, I don't regret fighting. I'm glad I did. It made me the person I am today. It gave me uncanny just.
It builds character.
It builds hard work ethic. And I remember I had like a defining moment in my life that's kind of driven me to even my job now, because my job now is an awesome job. But I applied to my job. I had 5 assessments, hands-on assessments, where I went and tried out 5 times. And the first 4 times they told me no. And the 5th time they hired me. And it was depressing, but I had one fight that I could contribute that to. I had an amateur fight in Virginia. And I was told it was a 145-pound title fight. I actually made weight for it, but I was gassed. And the guy I was fighting was told it was
Was it
155.
outside?
No, it was inside. It was Gladiator Fight Club, and they probably produced 4 or 5 guys in the UFC out of that card alone.
Yeah, I fought in Gladiator Fight Clubs,
Yeah,
but
you
when
fought
I did
them.
it was outside. That's why.
Yeah.
At the fairgrounds.
But so they told the guy I was fighting it was a 155-pound title fight. So I get down there, and you train 3-4 months. What are you going to do? You're going to fight the guy. You don't care if he was told 155 and you were told 145. You train to fight. You're going to fight. So I remember walking to the cage. I was just gassed. Like, my arms were gassed, bad weight cut. And I'm like, man, I am going to lose this fight. And this guy was better. Yeah. This guy was a better wrestler than me. And it was a 5-round fight. It was like the 3rd round. I'm like, just keep getting taken down. I can't do anything. This guy's stopping all my subs and striking. He just takes me down. And I'm thinking in this fight, I'm like, look, man, I could quit. And the way I'll quit is I literally turn over, let him put a choke on me. I won't even tap. I'll just let him choke me unconscious. I literally remember this conversation in my head. I'm like, the way I thought quitting would be with him letting
Go out
me
with a warrior.
choke unconscious. And I remember having this conversation in the middle of the fight, and I'm like, man, I'm not a little bitch like that. And that's like the defining moment in my life that always just drove me to be the best I could. And I took that from the cage all the way to where I work now. I had, after I was done fighting, I had a shitty job. I was making $15 an hour. Then I built my resume, got a better job where I was making $24 an hour. I had a decent job. I can make a decent living. I would be making okay money, but I'm like, I know I want better, and I got better for myself. I feel like guys that are high-level fighters, or even guys that have got to that cusp, you got to have something different about you, and that's all the world in the real life. In real world, you need to take that with you and apply that, how hard you work in training to real life. And I think that's why guys like Dennis, guys like me, if you're not fighting, if you are fighting, you're destined for success, because that's just who you are as a person.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Not Ferrari success, but
you can have a Ferrari as a lineman.
nice
It
Corvette.
just depends how stupid you want to spend your money. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. I mean, let's put it this way. I don't know if any of these guys are listening to, but I work with a guy that made $260,000 last year as a lineman.
Yeah.
You could get a used Ferrari for that. What I mean?
But that's all your money. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, but $260,000 year after year after year after year. Yeah.
Yeah, you just stack it and stack it and stack it. You don't buy a boat.
Yeah, I'm gonna buy a boat.
Saying.
I'm gonna buy a boat next year.
Menace is gonna buy that boat.
You want to come on the boat?
Dennis is gonna be that guy that has like $6,000 in bills a month, and he's strapped for cash.
No chance.
No, we're about to have the biggest podcast in life,
Ooh.
fighting MMA.
Ooh, that's right.
That's what we're working
So
towards.
I'm gonna have Lyman money and hopefully Joe Rogan money.
Nice, dude. I hope so.
If we do 1/10 of what Joe Rogan does, we'll fucking crush it. Joe Rogan does millions.
Yeah, I just need
what does Joe Rogan make? What does Joe Rogan make?
I've heard weird numbers. I've heard he makes like $60 million a year.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
But that's fucking insane for podcasting. That's fucking nuts.
Well, no, because I mean he's triple dipping.
Even if he made 10, okay.
Well, he's the most influential podcast out there.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, even if you absolutely lowballed what Joe Rogan might be making, $5 million, he's fucking set. He's doing pretty good,
Yeah, exactly. That's crazy, man.
Yeah, we just needed like a tenth of $5 million.
Dude, you make good money, man. I watch a lot of YouTube videos because you got an hour-long ride. I watch like real estate videos, and those guys will break down how much money they make, and it's unbelievable. They're making $150,000 a month in YouTube revenue. It's insane.
Do you watch Menace Tube, dude?
Yeah, when I have time.
Oh, you heard how his voice pitched there? Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
All the Menace and The Man shows are on Menace Tube.
Oh, I'll be on Menace Tube then more often.
Oh, for sure, Jeff. Dennis has been trying to get you on for a minute, and it's just been scheduling.
Well,
Jeff's
he's
always
lineman.
working. Yeah, he's always working.
He's chasing that money, doing
doubles.
doubles.
Yeah, doubles through the night. So I was working 16 hours a time and a half, which
beautiful,
is fucking sweet.
Nah, but like I was saying, man, Jeff's one of those influential guys that like I would get an opponent, I would hit up Jeff. Jeff, what do you think? Because Jeff will give it to you straight.
Yeah.
He like if you're like I've watched him in the gym tell motherfuckers like, yo, you're about to get your ass kicked because that guy's good and you don't train hard enough.
Yeah.
I'm like, damn, that was a little harsh.
No,
Like-
it's a fight game, dude. You
I
want to see
know.
a guy go in there, get his face crushed because you were too much of a bitch to tell
Right.
him he wasn't ready?
And then, hang on, guys, be like, hey Jeff, will you corner me? Nope. I think you're gonna lose. I don't corner people I think are gonna lose.
You don't work hard enough. Yeah.
Hang on, to their face.
Yeah.
Jeff's one of the realest motherfuckers out there. So
I
like,
forgot about that.
yeah,
That's great.
Yeah, I
nope,
used to do
not
that a
cornering
lot.
you. Don't think you're gonna win. And I only corner winners. I was like, holy shit.
He's like Ricky Bobby's dad.
Yeah.
First or last.
So
I'm
like,
done with you.
you know, like,
Dude, we used to
yo,
do something.
Jeff,
We
I
used
got
to have a
so
good
and so.
time.
What do you think? Yo, you're good. All right, I'm good. Yo,
Yeah.
Jeff, I got so and so. He hits pretty hard, but like you do this, you'll be good. All right, I'm
Yeah.
good.
See,
So-
I mean, I haven't listened to all your podcasts, but I don't know if people know the true depth of your story. Like, you came from fucking nothing in Harrisburg, dude. Like when I met Dennis, he had nothing, man. Like,
I
he
could
worked for
wrestle like a
some
motherfucker. That was it.
He had some concrete job where this guy would stiff him pay. One time he slept on my couch, and the next day I took him to interview. I think it was at Olive Garden. He didn't even have a shirt. I had to give him a shirt to wear to this interview.
And I didn't get
It was
the
probably
job.
best- He didn't get the job. Yeah.
Fuck you,
So,
Olive
I mean,
Garden.
Dennis really is like the American dream. He like made it, dude, and I was always super proud of him because he did something I never did. You know what I mean? So it was cool to watch his career fold out.
Oh, for sure. Like I said, Jeff, I've heard a lot about you. Like, Menace speaks very highly of you, and he's always told me about pretty much, I would say, the legend of Jeff Smith.
Yeah, Jeff Smith's
Yeah.
one of those motherfuckers. You
And
know?
then even,
like,
like, he's been putting off talking about his job because he was like, nope, wait till we get Jeff Smith on.
Yeah, people have been wanting to talk about lineman stuff. They've been telling, hey, we want to hear more about your lineman. I'm like, no, I need to talk to another lineman that also fucking fought too.
Yeah. Oh, that's one thing, dude. You'll never live down being a fighter. Guys would be like, oh, I think, so and so could take you. And it'd be some like
No,
guy. You know what I mean?
they
Yeah.
know that I at where I'm at. I think guys that have never fought would be like, oh man, we gotta keep Dennis off that crew because that guy did jiu-jitsu or whatever, and like he might challenge Dennis and whatever. But then I'll see these guys like in the hallway or like we'll be talking, and they bring up nothing about any kind of combat sports.
Yeah. Well, they're
Yeah,
just
that's
like,
the way it
nothing.
is.
they're basically tipping their cap to you. Like, I'm good.
I mean, like the
Not
only
yet.
the only way I know that they did combat sports is because I heard, like while I was on a job, like, oh,
Well, even
this guy does that.
even for Jeff, I'll ask this. Jeff, were you a street fighter? Did you not back down?
No, man.
Not at all?
No, man.
Jeff,
No, man.
Jeff has fought in the streets. I've watched one.
Yeah.
Did I watch it or I heard a story? Jeff, it was 160 pounds, and was one of the top bouncers in Harrisburg,
Yeah.
downtown.
Yeah, I was a
Harrisburg.
bouncer, but everybody used to try to step to me because I was a small guy, and I choked, I think, 2 guys out unconscious in the bar.
And then he would come to the gym and tell me about it.
Well, what it
Yeah.
is, too, is like if people do know you, they know that you did that shit at the highest level. So they probably think like,
Right.
oh, I'm going
Right.
to
So,
get the Menace
no.
in the street.
No.
That's what they probably think.
No, I think it's like, I'm a blue belt in jiu-jitsu. He was number
people are
6 in
ignorant.
jiu-jitsu. I'm not even going to talk to him about it because it's apples. And, I mean, it's
Little do they know you got 1 stripe on your white belt.
right. Yeah.
Which means absolutely nothing.
Yeah. It's a joke, actually. I'm like technically a 1-stripe white belt from our same coach. And
Yeah.
Depot thinks it's the funniest thing in the world.
Yeah. No, but Stan is actually he's fucking 1 stripe from a black belt, if not black belt, or like a high level brown belt.
Used to be. Now
Really?
I'm shot.
Oh yeah, he's fat now.
My technique is there. I could teach people really well, but I don't do that shit.
Well, you just gotta go out there and
Yeah.
he's got.
I mean, yeah, we could talk all day about lineman stuff, but nobody's going to understand what we're saying, Dennis. So,
Right.
You know what I mean?
Well,
You know.
I don't even understand what you're saying. So
Yeah, you don't even understand because you've only been there 5 weeks.
yeah,
But
yeah, you're
the
right.
biggest thing is, dude, just follow the guidelines and be safe because your life could change in an instant. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But once you've done it so long, you don't even think about it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? You'll have 13,000 volts on a rubber hose on your bucket, and you'll be taking it up 20 feet in the air, and you won't even think about it. You know,
Right.
13,000 volts is like having what's it? I can't even
An electric
equate
wheel?
it. No, it's like to have like maybe like 26 houses. I don't know. Like
Right.
if you were to
Got
stick
you.
your finger in 26 outlets in 26 different houses, that's like the equivalent of something
Damn.
stupid like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Cause I've learned like a lot of stuff, you know, and what not to do and what like, and I'm out there watching on the reel. I'm like, damn. Bunch of these motherfuckers are cowboys, huh? They just give zero fucks. They're just gonna wing it, huh? They're just gonna go
And
for it.
Just like my fight career did.
But
you see
Zero
that,
fucks,
right?
just do it.
That's with experience.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like, well, you're still tiptoeing. Like, wait, if I touch this, am I gonna get electrocuted? They're like, no.
Well, in lineman work, in general, there's like 4 walls of protection. From like,
oh my God.
right?
I don't know, dude. See, you're still trained from school. I forgot all that stuff.
Right. No. So like there's, you know, so for every job it's like 4 walls of protection, and I watch some of these guys work, and I'm like, huh. Yeah, he's not gonna do that. He's just gonna go for it. Okay.
Yeah.
But like they know, you know, they know exactly
Yeah.
what they're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The experience. Experience is a
Yeah.
motherfucker in anything you do.
Well, it could also be deadly though.
Yes.
In this line
if
of
you
work.
get careless.
Right, Jeff?
Yeah, I would say line work is more dangerous than fighting, to be
Oh
honest.
my
I mean,
God,
they
are
have
you kidding me? Of course it is.
20 to 40 people die a year doing line work, you know? So,
Year after year, lineman work is in the top 10 deadliest jobs in the world, no?
yeah, it is. But, you know, a lot of people are careless. So you just got to
Right.
follow every safety precaution and never be too overconfident. You know, don't be afraid to ask. If you don't know something, you got to
Right,
ask.
right.
So that's the biggest thing.
Yeah. Which, I mean, to get to the level I got in fighting, you have to look at people that you think know more than you and ask these questions. And is this right? And push your pride aside, thinking you know everything. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no doubt.
So
Just like fighting.
this is right up my alley.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Jeff Smith, we appreciate finally having you on the show.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah, guys.
we want to make you come on the show again. You know, we obviously are going to have some updates in Menace's lineman career, but also I feel like we're missing some stories here. Like you
For
guys.
sure.
Oh my God, dude.
Yeah.
I could talk for hours.
Yep.
So we almost
could.
need the Jeff Smith episode, if you
Yeah,
will. I feel.
yeah. Or
Yeah,
I mean, if we're doing like a
sounds
fight
good.
companion, Jeff Smith like is super knowledgeable about MMA and what people are doing and why they're doing it. We can have him call in for.
Oh,
fight.
for sure. So the
Yeah.
next time that we do a fight companion, it won't be this weekend, but maybe August 17th we'll do one. Maybe we'll.
I mean, in time. It's not crazy to think Jeff Smith might come to Long Island to visit.
Yeah, PA's not far, but he's got a family and
Maybe.
kids.
It
you know what I
is,
mean?
but
So
I mean, hey,
but he's
could
got.
be a good excuse for him to get away, or he could bring the family. I don't give a shit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I got bunk beds. I got.
we'll figure it out though. But we're definitely gonna have
Sounds
Jeff Smith
good.
on again. And,
hang on, you sell the pit. You pitch it to your wife, babe. We're gonna go to the beach. The beach. I live, I don't know, 15 minutes from the beach.
Best beaches
10?
in the world.
There
15
you
minutes.
Yeah.
There you go. That'll be the pitch.
All right, so you're the man, Jeff Smith. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah. Thanks,
Brother,
guys.
man.
Appreciate it.
I'm gonna miss you, Jeff.
All right. Later, buddy.
I
Love you too, Dennis.
So now, who's blowing you up?
I mean, who ain't blowing me up?
We're gonna do a 6-minute with Din Thomas and the call this call this one.
What?
Well, give me the phone cord. We'll do a quick little something with Din and then wrap this up. We'll butter him up for a future episode just because he said let's go and I don't want to ghost him.
Six minutes to the timer.
Hello.
Din Thomas.
Hey man, what's happening?
Is it Din or Dean?
It's Dean
Or is it
Dean.
Yves?
and Yves. Yves.
Why, do you and Yves get confused for each other all the time?
And they
We
play it
compete-
off.
Really?
Sometimes I think I'm Yves.
Someone be like, yo, Yves, what up? And yo, Dean will not fucking like go off beat and be like, yo, what's up?
Oh, well, he's a funny dude, this
He'll
guy.
run
Yeah.
with it.
He's a stand-up comedian. I've seen this guy.
I have seen that.
Who, me?
Yeah.
Oh, but I try to do a little bit of everything, man. You got to be well-rounded in life. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, for sure. So, Dean Thomas, welcome to Menace and the Man, Stan the Man, Dennis the Menace Bermudez. We're sorry we're a little late.
Don't worry about it, man. I know how y'all operate.
Yep.
Yeah, you know how it is.
Fighter time.
Yeah.
Yeah. You guys from New York, so that, you know what I'm saying? Y'all on your own time.
Oh, yeah, you know Matt Serra well, so you know how New Yorkers operate.
Yeah, unfortunately.
A few minutes is usually it's either times 4 or times 6.
Yeah, I'll be there in like 5 minutes. Like, that's a half hour.
Yeah.
So what's up, y'all? What's going on? What's popping?
Nothing. We just like to talk to fighters and all the people in the MMA and combat sports community about life and whatnot, what's going on with them. So what's going on with you, Dean?
Man, I am chilling. I am man, we had Shaq in the building today.
I saw that. So are you still in Port St. Lucie or are you going down to Coconut Creek?
Well, I do both, man. I live in Port St. Lucie. You know, I got a little trap spot in West Palm Beach, but don't tell nobody.
Ooh.
But I work I work in Coconut Creek.
Okay, so what's the distance you're driving every day?
Man, it's like 70 miles to Coconut Creek, but West Palm is like directly in the middle. So like I stay in West Palm Beach a lot.
Okay, I used to live in West Palm Beach actually, right off.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah, right off of like Palm Beach Lakes and Okeechobee.
Man, get out of here. That's where I'll stay close to. I'll stay on Palm Beach Lakes.
You know that like crazy apartment area where there's just mad apartments?
Yeah, where all the drug dealers be at. That's where I know. That's where you was at.
Exactly. That's where I live.
Yeah.
Where I live, you know, similar to New York, like a mile this way was horrible. A mile this way was rich people. So I was like right in the middle of that. Mile this
right
way,
in the middle.
yeah, ghetto apartments and the rich apartments. I was right in the middle. So,
Yeah,
but I love South Florida. Love South Florida.
Yeah, it's nice, man. Like, well, not this time of year because it's a bit hot, but when the winter comes around, I mean, it's still hot, but it's better than being cold, you know. So,
Oh, for
we
sure.
love it here.
So now, did Phil DeRue reach out to you?
No, he didn't. Well, I mean, I talk to him every day. That's my homeboy. Me and Phil go way back, man. I love him like a brother. But, you know, he tells me all the time, hey, man, these guys are going to reach out to you. So I never know when you guys are going to reach out. But, so,
Oh, okay, yeah, because he said he was going to let you know that we wanted you on Menace and the Man, because Phil DeRue fucks with Menace and the Man. We had him on when we came down, that we were actually in Coconut Creek in the beginning of May.
No kidding.
Yeah, we wish we would have got you on. We had Mike Brown on, we had Phil on, and then
Oh, I see how it is.
Yeah, and then a few weeks later
we were looking for you.
Yeah, we didn't see you there.
Yeah,
You
I
weren't
see
there.
how it is. You get Mike Brown on, Phil DeRue, leave me stranded, you know what I'm saying?
Nah, that ain't us.
Nah.
Yeah, I see. All right, no problem.
Great things take time, Dean. Great
Yeah, that's
things
right.
take
You know,
time.
so you're right. Great things take time.
Well,
that's right.
hey,
yeah, man.
We gonna be back in time. You know?
Say what?
We're gonna be back in time.
We're gonna come back to Florida.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, you guys should come back, man. It's always a good time down here.
Yeah, we want to kick the episode right out of your spot. Bang.
Yeah, man, I love that. I love that.
You're like waking up in your bed. We're like, oh, we're here with Dean Thomas. He's just waking up now in his luxurious king-size bed.
We'll start it with color commentary as he's sleeping. So look at Dean as how he's sleeping.
His right eye's twitching real bad. Looks like he hasn't shaved in 2 days.
Everybody comment in the chat. Who do you want to wake him up, me or Dennis?
You guys.
So now I saw on social media you were just at Dana White's 50th birthday, right?
What?
Yeah, man. Real talk, man. I was honored to go to his birthday, man, because like, you know, he had like it was like a lot of his just like people he grew up with. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And so we was out there, and it was such an amazing time. I mean, his wife threw him a party, and she knows how to throw a party. I mean, it was, you know, Don Henley performed, and Gwen Stefani, and it was a good time, man. I mean, he celebrated his 50th birthday like a man should. Like, if you got the money to, like, that's how you want to do it.
Oh,
and,
my God.
He did, man, yeah.
Who gets Gwen Stefani and Don Henley to play at their fucking birthday? That's amazing.
I know. Yeah, but I mean, it was crazy because you know, Dana's like, he's a really popular guy. But, I mean, it wasn't like, you know, the who's who of celebrities just there hanging out. I mean, it really was like his closest friends that he grew up with and his family, and it was kids. So it really was kind of like a family event.
So now, are you
And,
and Dana super tight, or are you thinking like, what the fuck am I doing here? Like, why am I
yeah,
here?
like I'm still wondering how I got an invite. Actually, I'm like, wait a minute. They must have like found like mailed it to the wrong person and just were too embarrassed to tell me it was the wrong person.
Yeah,
I'm like, how the hell did I get this invite? Yeah.
You were Sarah's +1.
Yeah, right. I was like, yeah, right. Well, now, like, well, Sarah showed up. Sarah came out with, like, and here's the thing, though. Like, me and Matt are the only two idiots that showed up with a present. You know what I'm saying?
I was going to ask
like,
that. What do you get that guy?
Well, I don't know if he got it yet. That's the problem. Because they didn't have, like, a table to put the presents on. Like, nobody else brought gifts except me and Matt. So, like, we just, like, gave him this amount. I was like, make sure Dana gets this. So, I don't know if he even got it yet.
Can I ask what you got him?
I don't know if I should tell, but I'm on as well now because
Yeah.
like
I like that.
Well, what do you get a rich guy who can get anything? Yeah, like who can have anything. So I wanted to get him something that he probably wouldn't get himself, and that he, so I got him a do rag.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, I did.
That's amazing.
Yeah, like you know what I'm saying, like because he cover up his bald head. You know what I'm saying. He don't get no waves, but he cover up his bald head in the sun. So I got him a do rag.
Oh, that's amazing. So now, how'd you get into doing you do the Dana White looking for a fight, right?
Yeah.
How did that come about?
Well, obviously there was another guy on it, Nick the Tooth, and he was having problems, and when he decided to leave the show, they were kind of in a crunch. They needed somebody like right away. They were literally going to film in 2 days, and they needed somebody right away. And I was in the gym. I was training Amanda to fight Meisha Tate, and I got a phone call from Dana, and he was like, "Hey man, we're going to film in the show. You want to do it?" I'm like, "Hell yeah!" And I left the next day.
And the rest is history.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so now
that's the thing, man. Like when you get a phone call, man, you always, especially from like a 702 number.
Oh my
You always answer. Yeah. Like if it's like from LA or Vegas, you always answer it, and then you always say yes to whatever it is because.
Am I allowed to ask? Like you're getting paid to do the show, no?
Yeah, we get paid for that.
What does that pay?
Oh, I can't tell nobody that.
Oh.
See?
You don't want people kicking down his door, family members calling him up, asking what he's making for that one.
Yeah. I can't.
I'm sure it's not making you rich, but it's definitely
rich.
Definitely worth your time.
Yeah, because like honestly, and I told Dana them after, I probably shouldn't have said that, but I was like, dude, I would do this for free.
Right.
And I ain't got a raise since, so I probably shouldn't have said that.
Yeah.
Matt's talking about how much it eats up his time and whatnot. He's getting a bump every episode.
Yeah, I know. Well, but it's a good time, man. I mean, we have a good time. It's not easy always because the hours are long, and and the production team wants us to do a bunch of crazy stuff that like they don't even show, and we have to do it. But it's still a lot of fun, and it's the best thing I do.
So now I heard you say working with Amanda. You're in a similar position as like Matt Brown at American Top Team, like you're one of the head coaches, right?
Yeah. We're pretty much. We're head coaches.
Oh,
we
for
run
sure.
we run people. Yeah, we run camps. So more to say, we run a lot of camps.
So who's your guys? Who you working with?
I'm working with Greg Hardy, Jillian Robertson, Christoph Yako, Rakeem Cleveland. I got him coming up actually next week in Atlantic City fighting Vinny Magalhaes. Antonio Carlos Jr. fighting Uriah Hall.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah, that is a good one. We're crazy about that one. But no, and then I'm trying to work with a lot of younger guys. Like sometimes I don't really like to get the older, more established people because they're kind of
they already know.
Yeah, they already know what they want. So like the younger guys need a little more guidance. So I tend to like gravitate towards them.
Oh, for sure.
They're sponges to you.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love that more than anything else.
And you can see more progress in them, Yeah,
like to work with Amanda, like Amanda would have been world champ anyway. Like honestly, like she's that good. So it's like you can say what you want, but nobody can really take the credit for her success except for her. But when you get a young kid who's just like fresh off the street, don't know nothing,
that can't throw a jab.
Can't even jab. Then you see them progress and win fights. You're like, man, I'm very proud of what we've done.
So now Din might be the perfect guy to ask this question. Hypothetically, let's say maybe you were a fly on the wall when Colby Covington and Robbie Lawler used to train together. Have you ever seen them train together?
Honestly, I've never seen them train together.
Okay. Because I was gonna say, what do you think's gonna happen this weekend?
But I can tell you, it is an interesting fight, and I don't think it'll be close.
Ooh.
You know, yeah, I don't think it'll be close, and I think one guy is going to dominate the other one way or the other.
So Colby's.
And I'm saying it's gonna be a short fight neither.
So Colby's gonna dominate Robbie Lawler for 5 rounds.
No, and honestly, I'm not saying that. You know, because Robbie, you know, he's still got some left in the tank. You know, Robbie was a killer back in his prime, and he's done a good job of pacing himself throughout the years that he still has some left in the tank. And I believe that, you know, Colby's the type of guy that he's been saving it up for because, you know, he's like, man, screw this guy. I'm going to knock his teeth out. So
Yeah.
This fight can go, I mean, I really believe it could go either way, but I don't think it will be close.
Fun fight.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm excited about this one.
Yeah. It's always interesting when you know guys have trained together and one of
Yeah.
them is talking about how the training went. Even though that's like taboo. You're not supposed to talk about that, but like
Right.
but
Well, you know, Colby ain't got no limits, man. Like, he just
zero.
he just says whatever, man. Yeah, he says whatever. It's like, dude.
Well, I mean, that's
Somebody go-
exactly what the UFC wants, though. This man's trying to get paid. I mean, he's got a
Yeah.
short window to make it rain. You and I both know better than anybody else. Like, there's some things that we didn't say that maybe we should have fucking said, and we would have maybe.
I know, that is true, man. That's
you
true.
know.
Yeah. I mean, you know, you're right about that, man. Like, nowadays, it's a different game where, like, you know, if you say something, you know, you're going to get your name out there, and UFC is going to kind of appreciate that because you're doing their job for them. You're promoting
Right.
yourself for them.
And
So, yeah.
hey, and they'll retweet it. You know.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah.
They'll retweet it. But so honestly, man, I respect what Colby did, man. Like, he's a guy who would have just been like an average wrestler in
Yeah.
the game, but he talked so much
Yeah.
that you had to pay attention to him.
Now,
Yeah.
there's something about that. Like, not only is he a good fighter, but he's got a fucking pair of balls.
Yeah.
I
Because
know.
for me personally, right, yes, I know I'm a good fighter. Yes, I try hard. I train hard. But now, yes, I agree to fight this guy. Like, I think I can beat him. I agree to fight him. Then you sign up for extra pressure, if you will, especially with how modern day technology runs and people love to sit behind their keyboard.
Once you talk shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
love to take your words and throw it right back in your face, man.
I know. I mean,
And me
you're right,
personally,
man.
when I say things, I'm not saying it to sell. Like, I fucking mean it. So now I'm hanging on to my own words. And my own words are, like, stressing me out. Because, like, yeah, I said I'll finish him the first. I got to finish him the first. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, man. There's something dangerous about that. That it's sometimes you feel like it'd be better to just shut your mouth.
Which, I mean, I kind of did. I try to make my actions speak for me. And people are like, nah,
Yeah.
we good on that, dude. He was
Yeah,
funny.
because think about it.
Yeah.
No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was gonna say, yeah, maybe he was funny post interview, but like when if they found, but like, nah, he's as good as fighters as all of them. I need extra. I need a little more.
Yeah. I'm just saying, like, for a guy like Colby, man, like, if he gets knocked out, this weekend, like, he's got to go back
Yeah.
and eat all of that. And
Yep.
that's tough. That's tough to go into a fight thinking, like, damn, I could get knocked out and have to eat all the words that I said. That's
Yep.
tough to do.
I mean, Asker's
Yeah.
a perfect example of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he handled it so amazing. But he even said, like, it was bound to happen, and I probably deserve it for all the antagonizing
Yeah.
I've done over the
Yeah.
years. You know.
Some people are better than
Yeah.
others, but like it's and Dean knows this better than anybody. Like, like you do interviews and stuff like that, and like while you're not always with people, you're not always surrounded. Like, you go to bed or you take a nap by yourself, and these things that you've said run through your head. You're constantly thinking about the fight, and like you're like, man, I said I'll destroy him, and what if?
I know, right?
What if?
Yep.
And it could fuck with you, man.
Yeah, that's always in the back of your head.
That's why,
Right.
like, he's not like, I don't know. Conor McGregor's a fucking animal. He fights like an animal. He talks his fucking shit. I kind of think he says things and doesn't go, well, what if?
He doesn't even have
There's
the what
no
if.
way.
Yeah.
Probably,
Yeah, there's no way he has the what if.
Probably not.
Yeah.
But I could tell you, what would you say, Dean? 75% of the fighting population go, maybe, what if?
I think it's higher. I really do.
Probably.
I think it's higher. I think it's higher.
Because
I think it's higher.
I think there's this progression, right? So I've taken a fight. I go, I'm going to fuck this dude up. Yep, 100% I'm winning. And that's when you tell your manager, yep, I'm taking the fight. 100% I'm winning. Within a day, you go, you look up some shit on him like, okay, he's knocked out some people, or okay, he submits some people. Then you go back, and then you go, okay, 90% chance I'm beating this guy.
Yeah.
Then you go back like, nah, not me. Next day, day 3, nah, he ain't getting me. You start training a little bit. Some guy that shouldn't beat you maybe gives you a hard time. You're like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
This guy's giving me a hard time. And my opponent will probably crush this guy. So then you're like, oh, fuck. Here we go. This isn't good. Right? Maybe you didn't eat enough carbs that day. Now you're doing this. Like, what the? You know what? Maybe I didn't have enough energy. Otherwise, he wouldn't have given me a hard time. You know, and there's this whole, such a psychological. So at some point, you go, what if and maybe at some point, because you go into one session, Stan, I beat you 9 times out of 10. You beat me that one day and we're fucking 3 weeks out. I go, fuck.
Yup.
My opponent would crush Stan because I've seen his shit. Now the what ifs and the maybes start running through my head.
Dangerous mental game.
It's very hard to be talking shit about somebody that I know would crush you, but you just gave me a hard time.
Yeah.
Ain't that true? That is so true, man. Especially like you said, like not having enough carbs. So like that week of the fight when you're doing all like the most media for the fight and you're cutting weight and you're depleted and now you're still trying to maintain that same level of shit talk, but you're depleted and you're training like shit. You're like, God damn it. I shouldn't even be fighting. This is my last fight. Forget it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Every fight week I go, fuck this. This is stupid. And then you fucking go out there, you show up, you win, and you get your paycheck. You're like, I'll do it tomorrow.
Yeah. Let's do another one.
Line another one up. You know.
I think it was Cole Miller I was talking to one time and he said when he gets a fight and he gets closer to the fight, he actually goes through the scenarios of him losing the fight.
Yes.
Yeah, he says he goes through the scenarios of him losing so he could deal with it in his head already.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah.
I don't. So I worked with a mental coach. We're going to have him on next week. I go over, like, 2 or 3 weeks out, I go over scenarios where things are not going my way, and I overcome them. Whether it's a guy takes me down, what are you going to do? How are you going to move? Or the guy's beating up your feet. What are you going to do? How are you going to react to that? Because Dean, you've seen it more than me. A dude get punched in the face and go, fuck this.
Yeah, for sure.
But had they mentally put themselves there where they got fucking blasted in the face and they're not home, and they are like, all right, here's what I'm going to do, the neurons in their body will react differently. So instead of going, fuck this, because the body don't want that shit, you go, okay, I've been here before. Here's what we're going to do.
Well, it's that sense of reality that the fighters need to maintain because, in their head, 2 months before the fight, in their head, they just saw themselves kicking the shit out of somebody.
Right.
Yeah, but so it doesn't register that other persons can actually fight too. So you're right. So you should prepare for that. That what if this guy does bring something to the table that I'm not expecting?
I call it
gotta
mind
be able to
fucking.
deal with that.
I call it mind fucking myself.
Yeah.
I also accept death when I go out there.
Yeah, you should.
That's a little extreme, a little weird. I know.
Max Holloway actually just talked about it and said before he goes out, his people, they're like, eat whatever you want, and he thinks of it like this could be my last meal.
Right.
Yeah, you know what? He's not wrong about that. And I think all fighters should be like that. And if you're not like that going into a fight, you're probably doing it wrong because, that small window of when you are at your highest level of competitiveness, you need to be competing as if it's the last time you're ever going to compete.
Oh, for sure.
Because the thing is, if you're not afraid to die, what the fuck is one punch to the face?
Yeah, right? Yeah, exactly. That too. Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So, like I know, because I worked with Henry Hooft, and he told me, like, that's one thing that Tyrone Spong sometimes does in the back, like, and he said it's almost scary. He goes, oh, I'm not, like, he'll start screaming, like, I'm not afraid to die tonight. Like, fuck this guy. Like, go ahead, try to kill me. Like, he gets crazy, and Henry's like, damn,
whoa,
this guy. But hang on, that's the guy you want to be behind.
Yeah.
You know?
You're right. You need, like, that's kind of the mentality, when you're at your peak, that's the kind of mentality you kind of have to have.
You don't want to be behind a guy's like, hey, Dean, you think, like, I'm ready, right?
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to do good, right? And you're like, yeah, you're going to do good, kiddo. You want the guys like, get away from me, I'll kill you first. You're like, whoa, damn, this guy, he might eat me right now. You're, like, afraid to give him a little dap before he goes in the fucking cage.
Intense. So now I heard you say Greg Hardy before. We want to get Greg Hardy on the show at some point.
Greg Hardy fought on the car with me in Brooklyn. We were in the back before, like, our first face-offs and shit like that, and, like, I was talking about playing Clash Royale. He's like, oh, damn, you folks now? I'm like, duh. We became, I think, best friends in the back right there. Like, I talked to the guy for 5 minutes. I'm like, do you want to do a karate in the garage? He was like, yeah.
No, Greg's a good dude, man. Greg's a good dude. Like, I mean, he obviously doesn't have the best reputation at this point, but, people just got to get to know him. And it's going to take a while. I understand that. But, when you get to know him, man, he's just a regular dude that just, wants to live his life like everybody else.
So I need you to pass along my message, because I DM'd him like, yo, son, we need to get you on the Menace and The Man show. We need to shoot the shit a little bit, talk about some gaming, what have you. But I would imagine his DMs are pretty flooded, so I can see how.
No, I can get him on. Ain't no big thing.
Yeah, just tell him I mean, he might even. I don't know if I might have given him my number. I gotta check it out.
Yeah, you know what it is, Dean, and you'd appreciate this. What we're doing here at Menace and The Man. Think of, like, it's us and the schmo, the only journalist or media out there that's doing positive shit. Everyone else wants to ask, like, the salacious, dumb questions, where we just want to be positive, get some laughs, and shoot the shit with people.
Yeah, that's what's up. Yeah, man. Like, I said, Greg is down to speak to whoever. He's never been above that. I took him to his first amateur fight, and he sat in the crowd with people and took pictures with every little kid in the whole place. So he's not above. He's not that guy who's like, oh, man, I'm this, I'm that. He's down to talk to anybody and do it all.
I would love to do a 2v2 with him live.
On what, Clash of Clans?
Yeah, right here. You can hear my expression like, Greg, what the fuck you doing?
Also, what it is, too, is like, I would say Matt Serra and Jim Norton have a positive show as well. I had to throw that in.
Yeah.
But even Dean, I got a funny story for you with Matt Serra too. You could tell him that we're an easygoing show too. So like we're at the Rise Invitational, and like I grew up in this sport. Like my cousin's Phil Baroni. I've been around it since I was a little kid. So like I don't put people on a pedestal, if you will. So like I feel like I went up to him as like a regular dude, and I was like, "Hey Matt, you want to come on our show, Menace and The Man? I do a show with Dennis Bermudez." And he was like, yeah, sounds good. So I was like, Tuesday, how does Tuesday work for you? And he was like, you know what? You're being kind of pushy. Ask Dennis to ask me. You know what I mean? I was just fucking talking to him like he was a dude.
Yeah. That's the way it works, man.
Yeah, so Matt Serra as well. We'd love to get Matt Serra on the show for some laughs one day.
I will text him. Dean,
we've already been over this. Yes, you need to text him. But But it was
like most guys are just are regular dudes, man. Like if you just talk to them like regular dudes, they're regular dudes.
Yeah, I tried him at the wrong moment, I guess, or maybe I was too pushy. I had a couple beers in me.
He was wasted. Dean?
No, I wasn't wasted.
Yes, you were.
I cornered you. I went up on stage with you.
I know, and I looked at you like, Stan, how many drinks you had? You're like, a lot. I'm pretty drunk. And I was like, sick.
Yeah, but I wasn't pushy. I was respectful. I might have just asked the wrong way. But Dean,
yeah, I mean, he pushed his buttons. It's crazy.
He's from New York, so you know how it is. Some of us
Yeah.
got a little bit of a shorter temper than others.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're out in the darkness right now. We started this show at 6-ish, like 6:30, and then we didn't set up lights, so we're about to call this one a wrap. But Dean, we'd love to make you a regular on the show or get you on again and get to the whole Dean Thomas story, get up to date on family life, personal life, everything you're doing.
Yeah, man. Listen, anytime you guys want to have me on, I'm pretty easygoing, and and I love to chop it up with people in the game, and especially like Dennis. Like Dennis, you've been in the game for a long time.
Yes, sir.
So, yeah, it's always good to like talk to people who've experienced, from the level that I have back in the day, like making that walk, like seeing that walk. Like it's always good to be able to talk about those things, or at least, that we understand the same thing. So listen, anytime y'all want to have me on, y'all have me on.
Yeah, and like also too, like when you have a fighter fighting, we could almost call you and like get how they're feeling, how they're doing, because like they're getting ready to scrap. They don't need they don't necessarily be talking to us,
Yeah, cool.
Plus, you're probably funnier than them too.
Yeah, probably.
Oh no.
Better looking, funnier,
kind.
and you're an OG in the game.
You're making me blush.
Oh, you black people
You
don't
can't
blush.
blush.
Yeah, come on.
I know.
Liar.
And you're an
So-
OG in the game, so we want
Yes.
some of those stories that we know you have.
Yeah, we're gonna get them.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
In the
Well, hit me
future.
up next week, man. We can do this again next week. I'll be in Atlantic City for
All right, 2
the
weeks.
PFL, so
2
I ain't gonna be
weeks.
doing nothing. Oh, 2
Oh.
weeks. Yeah, hit me up in 2 weeks.
All right, whatever you want, dude.
Oh, Phil told me this guy's one of the real ones. So
Yeah, he is.
yeah. Shout out to our guy Phil DeRue, and thank you again, Dean Thomas, for joining us.
All right, Dean.
All right, fellas. I appreciate you guys, man. Catch up with me.
All right, you got it.
We appreciate you.
All right,
Take it
peace.
easy.
Peace. So we started this episode.
Wow.
It was like really sunny.
Wow, though, big fan of Dean Thomas.
Oh, he's dope.
He seems like a fucking real legit dude.
He fucks.
Yeah, we started this in the sun,
Yeah, keep talking.
and now we're in the darkness. But what are you gonna do, Menace?
I gotta take a piss.
Right on the ground? Or are you gonna go? Oh, you're gonna go in camera?
It's my house.
Oh, that's great.
I can pee wherever I want, right?
But yeah, what I always think of with Menace and the Man is I always think of CERM that one time when he was like star-studded podcast, and that's what we always like to go for here. Yeah. I'm glad we got all of that in right there. I feel like Caraway, Jeff Smith, and Dean Thomas, we could all do their own episode. Like kind of like what we did with Coach Mel. Coach Mel kind of had his own episode. Then we were like,
Could have shut it down.
yeah. But we were kind of like, we kind of already hit up these fucking 3 other people. But yeah, next week. So what happened was we were going to do a show yesterday or today earlier, and then Menace had a private. Yesterday we just, the guest didn't get back. We wanted to get a couple people lined up. But next week we have a stacked lineup. So we'll configure who we're going to get on and what we're going to do next week. But
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, I've been working, so things have been tough getting.
Well, you know what it is? I realized once it rains, it seems like you got overtime.
Well, no, the storm came through. A heat storm came through.
A heat storm.
Yeah.
And what does that do? Make shit makes.
So, electricity doesn't like wind or heat.
Okay.
When heat comes, there's got to be a cold front. Lightning happens. Lightning wants to get to the ground. What not better way to go than through something that's metal that already has electricity in it?
Yeah.
Like, terms, and then, transformers are like, we can't handle this, or houses can't handle it, and fucking, we gotta go fix shit.
But even I would love to get Jeff Smith on to get more into Lime. Like the way he said that people weren't interested, he'd be surprised. People are interested in what Menace is up to.
For show.
And even it's an interesting job in a sense that,
Well,
like,
I would like to get on.
you can give the specifics of how a house
There's a
gets
few
wired.
linemen I think that have seen some shit.
Fucked up shit, you're saying.
Like,
You know what else we got to do is the Chris Wade episode.
yeah.
I almost didn't hit him. Like, I didn't even go through him.
Right.
Because I know he doesn't want to call in. He wants to come and hang out.
Yes,
You know what I mean?
yes,
And that's a
yes.
better interview.
Yes.
Aljamain Sterling as well, I feel like, is a come in
Yeah.
and hang out as opposed to
Yeah.
happy birthday to Aljamain as well. Tomorrow's his
Happy
birthday.
birthday.
He was going to come on today, but he was like,
Also, happy birthday to Fabricio Verdum.
happy belated to Dana White,
Happy
your old
belated
boss.
Dana White.
We're going to revisit the Dana White episode as well. He's another
Yeah, we'll
guest.
try and get
And Fabricio. Fabricio was coming on that one time. We just never followed up.
Yeah, for sure.
It's funny, too, for the fans, before we wrap it up, Fabricio doesn't type English, really. He speaks it. So him and Dennis do voice chat.
Yeah.
And what does he always say? What's his thing? Hey.
Hey.
Hey. Like, so Fabricio Verdum is like the Brazilian Fonzie.
Yes.
Only 200 pounds bigger and he'll fuck you up.
Yeah.
He's a beast. All right, so episode 40, Menace and the Man. We'll be back next week. We're sorry we did you guys dusty for 2 weeks, but hit him with your send-off, Menace.
Well, see you later.